Let me start the stream, and then, so yeah, this is my coming up slide, and so it gets people in the mood to eat sandwiches, I guess, but also for the show. So what it does is just gives people a chance to file in. Everybody's got a coming up stream, or coming soon, or starting soon. So I figured,
oh sure,
this is my way of doing it. But yeah, much happenings in your life, which is really cool. I really love that. I mean, I wrote down all the top. I don't normally write down like the talking points, but there's just so much you're up to. I wanted to tonight because I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything out, because it's quite a bit here, and it should be really fun to get into all these things. So
yeah,
way fun.
Let me plug this on my Discord.
Oh, right on. Yeah, sounds good. Great, thanks. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. Just make sure all my ducks are in a row. Got this. Yeah, it looks like we're good here. Yeah, I know that. Have you ever been on another collab show before this one? Like on an interview show, like on other people's channels, perhaps?
I did one.
Mm-hmm.
It's this jazz saxophonist in the Bay Area named King Pajama Sam. And it's the kind of the craziest story. So his girlfriend Danielle Wirtz, who's a great jazz vocalist, I met her way back in the day, like 10 years ago plus, at the Miami Frost, like the University of Miami Jazz Summer Camp.
Right.
And that was kind of a pivotal moment for her, because that was the first time she had performed with a jazz band, and she didn't know how to count off and stuff like that, and had to be had to get a little help with that. But King Pajama Sam was like on my Discord, and then she walked by and she's like, wait, is that Ryan Slatko? So they ended up having me on their show, doing kind of interviews, talking about origin story and stuff, which I ended up making like a whole YouTube video just about that, just because, good question. I guess people are kind of wondering, like, who the hell am I? Like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a, it's a new concept that people are even interested in that. But, just put it out there, kind of, because it is, we could talk about this more, but it's very kind of unexpected. If I look back 10 years, I definitely did not know I'd be here doing this thing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's life is like that.
Yeah. Hey, look who's in the chat. If you have your chat open, our good friend and fellow Ryan, that E flat guy, in the chat. He says that voice sounds familiar. Oh, that's exciting. That's so exciting.
What's up, Ryan?
Ryan, good to see you in the chat. We're so glad you could make it. I hope your voice is feeling all right. I know that Ryan's been pretty busy too. That E flat guy, Gibson Lens, is in the chat. Yes. Welcome in. Yeah, I recognize a lot of the fellow members of the Slat Club here in the chat. So I'm really looking forward to. Luke Miletto, and at some point, thank you for the follow, Prepaid Obsidian. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know all these names. Look at this. Gibson Lens and Prepaid Obsidian. Yeah, we're really excited to have you all here. 100%. What's up? Something happened? No, I think all that happened because he mentioned it on his Discord. E-Flat was just busy with gigging, so it's just a lot of just wear and tear from that, I think is what I read. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. gotta warm up and all that stuff.
Rahoma with the resub for 5 months. Thank you so much, Rahoma. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving. Let's go ahead and start this up. We'll bring our guest to life and visual as we begin our program tonight. Let's do it, everybody. Yeah. So this is my starting music. All right. Yeah. Woohoo. Well, good evening, everybody. Good to see you back. Hello, everyone. My name is Davey. I eat sandwiches, and you are tuned to another episode of The Sandwich Show. And each week on The Sandwich Show, we feature folks from Twitch. And I do want to bring in our guests, and we have some announcements for you at the top before we start our collab. Good to see everybody here in the chat. It really is. But, folks, we have a great guest on tonight with us, and he is jazz and video game music wonderkind, Ryan Slatko. Welcome to the show, my friend. How's it going tonight?
Hello,
Nice to
everybody.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'm doing great. I had a bit of a long day. I had flyers made for the Slat and Co show, and I decided this time I was just gonna go all out with PR, and I made a trip down to Lower East Side after getting a haircut, and I went to like 7 or 8 different hotels and just took a stack of flyers and just went, Psh, here you go, do what you will with these, and we'll see what happens.
Ooh. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm really excited about this show, and I'm sure you are as well. And we were talking about it before we started the show officially about just what a big moment this is for you. And I think it's really wonderful. Like, it's the first time you've really done your own kind of show in quite some time. And thank you for the host, Chris Twitch Love Thompson. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for the follow, Jedi Master 4559, and Rahom, and for Monchaf, I got this for you. Pop it up. Yeah, thanks so much. But yeah, Ryan, I'll tell us you a little bit about what's happening as far as this stream tonight, because we are looking forward to raising some funds while we talk with our friend Ryan Slatko about all the cool stuff that he does with music and with his channel. But first, let's just revisit that. I mean, this is quite a moment, and I could feel it when you were talking about it in your streams, in earlier shows. But for someone who's loved and embraced the jazz and the jazz fusion genre, I mean, the chance to headline a show has got to be an amazing thrill, is it not?
It is, yeah. And truth be told, this is not the first time this has happened. I don't know, 3 or 4 years back, whenever it was. I was playing gigs around New York, and that was fine. I was playing a jazz gig here, getting paid, whatever. But I wasn't really having opportunities to play my own music, and to rehearse and really put a show together, right? Not just a gig, but a show. And also, I was in talks with the fine folks down at 55 Bar. Famous jazz fusion venue in West Village, trying to get a gig there. And I kind of figured, okay, I want to have a band together and be ready if we get an opportunity to play there, because being able to play there with like a fusion band doing original music would be badass. And so I got this band together. Back then it was a different lineup, but we rehearsed the music, and I put some shows together, and it was a lot of fun, and I wanted to keep doing this. And I don't do it very often. Again, like maybe once or twice a year, I would put a show together like this, and I pay everyone out of pocket, and I get rehearsals together. It's a lot of work, and I promote it, and I haven't been able to do it in a while because of COVID.
Right, absolutely.
And I don't know, it was kind of funny how this came about, because my parents are going to be in town this weekend. We're going to go see Genesis. And,
get out. No way. Genesis? That's great.
Yeah, they're my favorite band. They're my favorite band.
Wow. Of all the things, that's awesome. That's really cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And, the question always comes up when family and friends are in town. Are you playing anywhere? It's like, well, not really. I don't know yet. I decided I was just going to make something happen. I'm going to make a playing thing happen. So I put this gig together, and got an amazing band, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
That is so awesome, Ryan. And we just got a raid right now from the Funky Spud. Welcome in, my friends.
Funky Spud.
I love it. Oh, he's the great, isn't he? Let me play the raid song for y'all, and we'll bring in. We got some announcements for you guys coming into the show too. So let's do it. Not supposed to be drums in this part. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. All right. Get that drums out of there. The Funky Spud, it's so nice to meet you here on the stream. How was your stream? My name is Davey. I am Davey's Eating a Sandwich. I eat sandwiches. This is Ryan Slatko. He plays jazz and video game music. It's so nice to meet you all here on the show. We both know the Funky Spud. His show is really cool, too. Can we give the Funky Spud a shout-out? And Funky Spud in great big letters says, I'm great. I also want to say hi to Phil Vello and Food Man Chu, who joined us in the chat while we were opening up. And, of course, that E-Flat guy, Mason Bunnies, Conquer83, Mango Seltzers, Jedi Master 4559. We've got a lot of great friends of the jazz genre in our chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I do want to make one other point before we continue. We're also trying to raise funds for a streamer called Wonder Truly, a friend of ours. And there's going to be a really big raid train tomorrow. And I'll tell you about that really quickly just to let you know about that. That's the raid train tomorrow. There'll be more details on Instagram at Davey's Eating a Sandwich there. You can check out the schedule and everything there. But that should be a good time. But we're also going to raise funds tonight on our show. So if you would like to donate, let me use the command !help wonder. And there's a dono link there. Every $10 we raise tonight during our stream, I will eat one of these things. A Bean Boozled jelly bean, which is quite the adventure, Ryan, if you've never tried that before. And then we'll just add a jelly bean to this receptacle over here. And at the end of the show, I'll eat them all in one sitting. So it's going to be quite an interesting night for us, for sure. But so good to see yourself. Yeah. Thanks. So good times for sure. So just to refresh everybody who came in via the raid, we wanted to hear a little bit more about Slat and Co, which is coming up in New York on Friday night, 10 o'clock, and I'll show you where. It's coming up at the Rockwood Music Hall, Stage 3. Now, you mentioned that some of the band members are not the ones you had the last time you did a show like this, but some really good musicians in the mix. Obviously yourself, Dave Pollack, Max Light, Adam Neely, Josh Roberts. Just for those of us joining in late, tell us a little bit more about what you'll be doing during this most interesting concert. Jazz fusion's awesome, so I'm all about it.
Yeah. So for the past few years, since I started doing these projects, I've been writing music just with this in mind. And I guess when I originally formed the group, I was thinking a lot about Corea Electric Band, which is a huge influence on me. I love that band. It's like one of my favorites. And hearing that kind of instrumentation and the kind of the justification of the instrumentation is that you have me, of course. You got to have drums, right? You got to have electric bass. You got to have guitar with all the sounds. And then, you add saxophone because you need air, right? You need air being moved. And it really creates that. If it's not that, it's like a singer or something. But I just didn't want just a band of, percussion instruments. So that's kind of how it came together. And yeah, we're going to be playing originals that are all suited to this music, this kind of electronic stuff. I'll have my synths. I'll probably have my keytar.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Is that I see it just behind you. I think I see it in the screen. Yes, there it is. The keytar, everybody. Look at that cool thing.
Yeah, and it now has its own stand, which is really exciting. It just lives here, and it just stands proudly.
Grax, thank you for the follow. Let's give a shout out to Graxonoff too. His stream is pretty cool too. Like he's got some pretty good piano chops as well. So
Grax deals.
Oh, he definitely deals 100%. And so does that E-Flat guy, who's very gracious to join us here in the chat tonight. I know we both share a common fandom of yours, Ryan. So it's really great. Thank you so much for joining. It's just great to see the community here. Jamie's in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Jamie. Aaron Schiff is in the chat. Aaron Schiff is in the chat. Good to see you. C-Dub Guitar is back in the chat, who will also be in the raid train tomorrow. But don't forget that. He will be the closer for that raid train tomorrow night. So really great. So good. Aaron is in the chat, the Queen of Chaos herself. She's the first mod of our program and a great friend. And she streams too. Let's give Aaron a shout out as well. So good to see you all here tonight. But yeah, Grax said he wishes he could fly out. I said the same thing, Grax. I wanted to fly out all the way from California to see this show. I was so close. And Ryan, I couldn't help but notice that it was around the corner from Katz's Delicatessen. So I was like, excellent choice for like post-game meal or post-show meal or pre-show meal.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great food around there.
For sure.
But yeah, like a little New Yorker insider tip. Don't go to Katz's.
Don't go to. No, I think that's a good call. I gotta say, I guess to be completely honest, you're right, because that's like the tourist trap, right? So
Katz's is great. Don't get me wrong. Katz's is great, but yeah, it very much is a tourist trap, and you could like just go to Second Avenue Deli. Just go to Second Avenue Deli, and it's basically the same thing, but without all the hype. You can eat your sandwich in peace without being stressed. Because for those of you in chat who don't know the deal with Katz's Deli, it's a famous, deli corned beef and pastrami joint that's been around since it's been around for over 100 years.
Yeah. And
the deal is, it's like a very fast-paced counter, and when you get to the counter, if you don't know what you want to order, you're gonna get sent to the back of the line. They play hardball. It's a little stressful to be there. So yeah, go to Second Avenue Deli.
I should go there. I just like to check. I've heard a lot of good things about Second Avenue too. That's a great call. It's kind of the same thing with pizzas. Like you could go to Lombardi's and then kind of wait a while for it, or you could go to DeFara, wait a while for it. But there's a lot of good pizza everywhere in New York. I feel like there's a lot of good choices.
Yeah, there's Joe's, which is everywhere.
Yep.
There's Scars on Lower East Side.
Yep.
Or if you're on a budget, go to Percy's or Two Bros for $1 slice. Although Percy's is now $2 slices because inflation.
Oh, they finally went up to $2. $2.
Times are rough. $2 slice.
Absolutely. What was it? Now, you talked about the fast-paced life, and thank you for the starting line redeem, Chris. We'll get to that in a minute, but when you first moved to New York, how long have you been in the city now at this point?
6 years.
Wow.
I moved
okay.
August 2015.
Yeah. Okay. So when you moved there, what was it like to adjust to that faster-paced lifestyle and that higher population density? Because it's always a thrill that first time you get there.
Yeah, it definitely takes some getting used to. I mean, the reality of the city is just it's there's a lot of people. You're just your personal space kind of shrinks relative to the amount of people who are around you.
Yeah.
So you have to get used to just being in a crowded subway car with your shoulders like this, just like a pack of sardines. Being unable to move because that's there's just too many people.
Right.
And you start to learn to avoid certain trains at certain times. But it's funny. It's funny but kind of sad. I've heard stories of fellow musicians who are schlepping their gear on the train, which is horrible, by the way. And I still have to do it sometimes. But yeah, schlepping gear on the train is not fun. There'll be times you're standing on a crowded subway platform, and then 3 or 4 trains go by that are so full you can't fit in there with your gear. And yeah, you realize you have to kind of, plan around that and allot time for the subway to just screw you over, because it'll break your heart again and again and again.
Yeah. Yep. No, I've heard so many stories. I have a lot of friends on the East Coast as well, and they can tell me many stories just like that. It's quite interesting, but frustrating, I can imagine. You might be late for things just because of it, but there are things out of your control. It's just so big. It's massive. There's a lot going on. So I totally understand. And so that... Yeah,
and at the same time, it's a bit of a trade-off, too, because, I don't have a car. It means I don't have to.
Right.
I can usually rely on Subway, and if not Uber, to get around. There's a lot of options. And I love this city. That's kind of first and foremost for me. I mean, it's a great place to be, to do the kind of thing I do, which is playing creative music.
Yeah.
But I also just love the city. I love going out to eat here. I love having these kind of experiences that you can't really have elsewhere. Yeah, I love the city, even though it beats the crap out of me every day. It's an abusive relationship.
I feel that. Anytime I love the sentiments, though. It is definitely a great place for music. I mean, just so much going on. You learn new music. You find new musicians. Do you know of any particular acts, whether they're big acts or small acts, that you discovered while you were in the city?
Oh my gosh, I could go on and on. I mean, big and small acts, because you always got the big acts where you're just like, was I hiding under a rock? How have I not heard of this guy? This is incredible. Or some of the smaller kind of underground guys on the jazz scene, a lot of them at 55 Bar, I didn't know who Dave Binney was until I got here. Dave Binney is an incredible alto saxophonist, and he plays at the 55 Bar, Binney. And of course, guys I knew about. I know you could see like Wayne Krantz at the 55 Bar on like any Thursday night. I know I could see Ari Honig at Smalls. But what's interesting too about kind of the jazz scene is, you go to these people's shows who you know and love and look up to, and then by going through their shows, maybe they're guys in their band you've never seen before. And then you discover them, and then you want to go follow them, and it's like this tree. It just branches out, and it's infinite. It's infinitely massive, which is why it's kind of mind-boggling to me that people want to go back and listen to the same artist over and over and over. It's like, no, there's an endless ocean out there of creative artists doing their own thing. And yeah, I've been very blessed and fortunate to experience some of the incredible music in the city that goes through the city and all that. Yeah,
that's really cool. Now, if we flip the question, what is it like? What have been some of your favorite places to play in the city? Like, what are your favorite venues in terms of like performing?
Yeah. One of the coolest opportunities I had was to play at Dizzy's Club, Coca-Cola, which is kind of part of the Jazz at Lincoln Center, organization. And I got to lead a trio there for 5 nights playing the music of Mulgrew Miller. That was one of the coolest places I was able to play. And it was a great band and just, an audience of appreciative jazz lovers who were there for the music, and they weren't just there to get drunk or something like that. That was one of the favorites. There are other places, but it's not always the venue that really does it for me. I mean, I love playing at Rockwood too. The sound there is always great, but it's not always the venue that really makes the gig experience for me. Sometimes it's just the people I'm playing with and the music that's being created. I mean, I've been in some of the most amazing musical situations in dive bars and people's homes and things like that, and it has nothing to do with and sometimes in the really nice kind of upscale venue, that's like your worst playing because you're like nervous and you're like, wow, I'm playing here. But when I did the run at Dizzy's, but I think by the 4th and 5th night I was really comfortable. The first night I was a nervous wreck, but once I got in the flow and I was getting really comfortable with my band and kind of warming up to the room and the crowd there, because it's also a very Jazz at Lincoln Center, it's like everyone wears suits and it's like a very conservative, kind of thing. But it's hard to kind of loosen up there. But once I did the 4th or 5th night, it was like, yes. But yeah, there's a couple. I mean, Kitano was great. I played at 55 Bar once, which was awesome. And yeah, a few others. Blue Note with the NYU bands. We had a thing at Blue Note. Yeah. That was nice. That was one of the nicest pianos I've ever played. I'm not usually a Yamaha guy, but this Yamaha, it's just like, yeah, whatever you want to do, man. I got you. Yeah, you want to go there? Sure, let's go. Yeah.
I love how I'm not surprised that you have that kind of intellect, intel on all these pianos. I did read on your page that your studio piano is also a Yamaha.
It's a Yamaha keyboard. But it's funny. The keyboards are a little different.
Gotcha.
The thing with keyboards is I think the Yamaha keyboards have the closest, the best piano action. It's the best weighted action. It feels the most like a real piano, versus I don't know, Korgs or Rolands or anything like that. But what's interesting is Roland unweighted, like this accent, for example. Roland unweighted is amazing. It's just so springy and it feels so satisfying to play. But I don't know. I've had this keyboard for a while. I got this when I first started gigging in Jacksonville, going to school down there, and it had a good piano sound. It had the right feel, and it did everything I need to. I don't gig with this anymore because it's too big to shop around New York subways. So I have my Nord.
Oh, you got your Nord. You got a Nord too. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nord's the new thing I've been hearing about. Yeah. So you feel like I even mentions it, or Nords. Yeah, 100%. Nords are rad.
Yeah.
So
their organ sounds are great. Just a great keyboard overall.
I love it. Dreamon is in the chat. It's so nice to see you. Welcome to the Sandwich Show. It's nice to meet you. I know of her music, and it's pretty sweet. Come on down. It's nice to see you. I think you've come in at a really good time, Dreamon, because now, Chris, I'm gonna do starting lineup Mods, make sure to remind me to do starting lineup at the quarter of the hour. Can you do that? I appreciate that because I don't want to cut into this conversation too much, but I don't want to forget your starting lineup redeem either, Chris. So we'll make sure to make it happen. But first, before we do any of that, I think it's a moment that Ryan, I would imagine you've probably been waiting for this, and I think everybody here in the chat has as well. But it is just an absolute pleasure to introduce to you all our favorite segment of one of our favorite segments of the show, and we call this the. Let's see, where is it? Done it again. Oh my gosh! Look what happened. I completely forgot how to play the song. I'm so nervous. It's the sandwich of the week, everybody. That has never happened on this show. I think I'm just my excitement for the spot. Oh, I see. I'm an octave low, so it's. There we go. The sandwich of the week, everyone. I finally figured out. Now, does that happen to you, Ryan? Do you get like nerves such to the point where you completely forget like how a song goes? And boy, that is some feeling.
Nerves are a real thing. Yeah. For me, it's like I forget how the I have to learn so many tunes in the jazz world. That's like I always forget how the bridge goes. How does the bridge go? What key? The bridge always goes to a weird key. Which weird key is it?
That's wild. But I feel it. It's all good, you know. But we're all but human in the end. I know. Aaron says, Davey, we are almost 7 months into this. Come on, man. Aaron. I just started learning how to play this thing when I start the show. But I'm just kidding. Much love, Aaron. Much love. All right, so let's do the sandwich of the week. And this week it is. Ryan, when that E-flat guy and I rated into your channel, you asked me what was my favorite sandwich. And I told you that my favorite sandwich was the Rachel, which was a Reuben with pastrami. So I asked, what was your favorite sandwich? And you said it's very similar. It is the Reuben with the corned beef. So I have a Reuben with the corned beef tonight. Here it is.
Wow. I'm honored. Wow. Just for me.
Absolutely, Ryan.
Look at that beauty.
Isn't that great? Look at that. They put a lot of meat in it.
With fries and a pickle.
Yeah, and coleslaw, actually, if you look at it here. So there it is, everybody. Dream on. I hope this meets your satisfaction. But, Reubens are good. Yes. Dream on approves. I love it. Fitness Gal's in the chat. Hi, Fitness Gal. How's it going? Our good friend Fitness Gal, the gal who brought Davey's Eating a Sandwich to Twitch. So it's so good to see you again. Christy's Coffee's in the chat. Hello. Good to see you back again. And Dream On says, Cat's Deli in New York City is like one of my faves. It's so interesting you mentioned that. We were just talking about that earlier in the show. But yeah, Ryan, that's our sandwich of the week. I don't know if you have one too, but it's all right either way. I know that you love sandwiches because we've talked about it a lot on the stream, and I'm grateful that you got to that you're part of this. So, besides that sandwich, what are some of your other favorite sandwiches to eat? Because I think there's a lot of good choices where you live now, but there's also good choices where you came from, meaning your hometown. Because I am familiar with the Cuban Sandwich.
You know where we're going with this.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Where we're going with this.
Absolutely.
And won't you believe it? When I was down in Miami, you know, I had to do it. I had to get a Cuban, which if you don't know in chat, a Cuban sandwich is slow roasted pork, ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, yellow mustard on a Cuban style roll. Which it's hard to really describe. A Cuban style roll, it's very important for the sandwich. It's it's like a very soft, pillowy bread, and it's got this very thin kind of shell exterior. And it's really hard to find this bread anywhere outside of Miami, which is really frustrating. And, you know, there are a lot of restaurants out there that try to do, you know, their artistic take on the Cuban. They change the bread to like a baguette or something, and they change it to Dijon mustard. I'm always just disgusted. Like, get that away from me. I'm like more of a purist when it comes to food than when it comes to music sometimes. It's kind of hilarious.
That is interesting. Wow.
But yeah, there's that. And actually Food Man Chu came over to my house, and we got sandwiches from this place, which is a butcher shop, really close to where we live, and they do it's gonna blow your mind what I'm about to say. It's a duck bacon banh mi. Doesn't that sound crazy?
It sounds crazy. I am for it though. Let's go. Duck bacon banh mi. Man, that just sounds tasty.
Yeah.
The baguette on that. Oh, I can't even imagine how good that is.
Yeah. And I love burgers, but burgers are tricky because I think unlike some of these other sandwiches we've mentioned, a burger is really easy to screw up. A lot of people don't know how to do a good burger.
Yeah.
And like
that's
I kind of and I draw a hard line in the sand. Burgers for me must be cooked on a flat top.
Oh.
I have no interest in grilled burgers. They get dry.
That's interesting. So you don't like the flame broiler? That's very. I've not heard that opinion before. That's
on a steak. On a steak, it's a different story.
Right,
Steak
right.
is great.
Right.
Grilled steak is the bomb. But the problem with burger is I think you lose too much juice. And it gets worse because the fat drips into the flame. You get flare ups, and then that's gonna like scorch your burger even. No. Not interested.
That's so. Your arguments are great here, though. Like, I think I've reached that point where, like, I would put like a big, juicy burger like this big, on the grill, and then you just see all this juice come out of it, and it's like, no, that's my flavor. Yeah, I totally get it. Totally get it. Let's see. We got some chat. We got some gold in the chat. Let's see. Tin Tam Gaming says poor. By the way, hi Tin Tam Gaming. Good to see you back in the chat. By the way, it's Tin Tam's birthday. Can we wish happy birthday to Tin Tam? Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday, buddy. So good to. I know he had a 10-hour stream and I didn't even know about it, but I'm glad. Oh no!
My hands fell off just thinking about it. I'm guessing you were doing something other than playing an instrument.
I would assume as much, yes. But yeah, 10-hour streams are nuts. Like no matter what you do on them, like it's crazy. So I really hope that went. I heard that it went well because I asked him about it the other day. But that's really good. But anyway, Tim Tam says pour some duck banh mi. Oh yeah, pump it up. That's a good dish. Oh right. Oh, let's see. But so good to see you tonight, Tin Tam. Dreamon says contain the juices. Yes. Yeah, happy birthday, Tin Tam. I hope your birthday went awesomely. And Tin Tam says, thanks, y'all. It did have a good birthday. Pump it up. Nice. That's really cool. So,
Just one.
I love it. CT, you still with us? Okay, great. So 3 minutes from now, we'll do starting lineup. I think we'll just close with this food commentary. But yeah, I totally love what I'm hearing about the sandwich scene. It does seem like New York's a little. I have to say, well, and then look, it's been a few years. I haven't been there since 2015, but when I was last there, and in the years before, the burger scene was not what I was hoping, I guess is what I would say about that. Like because out here in LA, like we have this like the mecca of hamburgers. It's really, really good. We have In-N-Out, of course, and we have Pine Burger. We have a whole lot of good spots where you can get a burger, but.
Yeah, but we have Shake Shack.
Well, we have Shake Shack too now. A Shake Shack is a good argument. That's true because that's kind of that kind of came about a dozen years ago. That's true. That's actually point to New York for that. That's right. Shake Shack's awesome.
Outside of that, I think you have to know where to go.
I gotcha.
There's this one place I found out about it through Bon Appetit, but it's called JG Melon. Really good burger.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm also really impartial to the gastropub style burger, and one in particular called Cooper's Craft Kitchen. But anything like that. Oh, the problem is, I think a lot of us grew up eating burgers in the kind of the backyard cookout style on a grill,
right.
American cheese, ketchup, just no. And yeah, these kind of places, they really do it right, in my opinion.
Cool. No, like I said, I think it's worth another investigation. My next trip down or up to Manhattan to give it a go.
Yeah, like with New York's, you really kind of have to. It's good to have a kind of a guide or someone who's in the know because there are all these places, incredible experiences you can have that you would never know about otherwise. I mean, most jazz clubs, for example, are in these very kind of unassuming basements. Like if you're walking on the street, like you could blink and miss it. It's just like this little doorway, like Smalls, for example, right? This little doorway that leads into a staircase, and next thing you know, you're in this incredible room, this basement with this incredible music pouring out of it, and hearing stuff you didn't know you could hear in 2021. Or another example, this little dive bar in East Village called Mona's, where if you're into like tradition, like trad jazz, old school jazz, like New Orleans style, they've got it there. And those guys are all about the authenticity. They're doing it right. And yeah, but you would never know unless you knew somebody who was in the know.
Yeah, that's really great advice. Like that can go a long way to an enjoyable experience in the city. So I love that.
Yeah, ask for recommendations.
100%. Yeah. So I'll remember that. All right. So let's see. We got some redeems. We have a lot of point redeems here on the Sandwich Show, and one of them is rather unique. It's a way to introduce everybody to the chat, including yourself, Ryan, in a basketball starting lineup style. So let's do that. So for those of you who are familiar or new to the program, what we do is in the chat, write !lineup, and you can get in the lineup if you want to. So go ahead and do that, and I'll announce your name as we get going here. Yeah, here we go. E-Flat Guy's all about it. I know it. And everyone else as well. And there's been so much stuff in the chat. Oh, yeah, Rahoma says, Ryan, you have a beef with grills.
Well, let me emphasize. I think grilled steaks are great. I think grilled chicken breasts are great. Mm-hmm. I think kebabs are great. I think a lot of stuff is great on the grill, just not burgers. That's just for me.
I really love the conviction, though, in that statement, though. That's great. All right, so let's do it. Starting lineup, everybody. Get the music started. Let's do it. All right. Oh, that's loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. Christie's coffee. He must walk the plank. No, let's not get on Ryan for that. He's a busy fellow. He's been through some exciting times, folks. So I'm happy to. I have enough sandwich for both of us, honestly. All right, let's do this. And now the starting lineup for your Davey's Eating a Sandwich Sandwich Show Chat. Leading off, the Queen of Chaos, now streaming herself and hailing from the Sunshine State, but originally from Long Island, Aaron Rain 8666. And coming in second in the lineup, the master of perfect pitch, the leader of Ryan's Lions, and huge fan of Ryan Slatko music as well, Ryan that E-Flat Guy. Woohoo! And one of our good mod friends of Twitch, music is in his name, Chris Twitch Love Thompson, also known as CT Music. And hailing from, and keeping it classy in San Diego, the Troller-in-Chief, Rahoma. And hailing from the Rocky Mountain Highs in Colorado, riding whether virtually or actually, our good, generous friend of the Sandwich Show, Phil Dello. And one of the most well-traveled people you will know on Twitch. Where in the world is Fitness Gal 2012? And from the Pacific Northwest, Shore plays a mean pinball sorcerer. And from the Cream City, ready to get it going on the Wonder Truly Raid Train tomorrow, closing it out for everybody. Huge fan of Milwaukee sports, and always having a good time with guitar vibes and marbles goals. C-Dub Guitar! And joining us in the Sandwich Show chat, a piano wizard himself. New to the Sandwich Show chat, but always a good friend on Twitch, Roxanne! Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, your Davey's Eating a Sandwich wait, hold on. And a collab tonight. Almost forgot. From the Big Apple. Hanging out with jazz tunes, VGM, and Disney cover tunes too with his touring group, The Little Merman. About to do a show with his band Friday night in the Village. Say hello live from New York, Ryan Slatko Music! And ladies, gentlemen, and non-binaries, your Davey's eating a sandwich! Sandwich Show Jason! Woohoo! Holy Moses. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Woo. Jason says, let's get ready to fight. To the death! Jason, so good to see you in the chat, by the way. Jason L. Rush. Good to see you. So, Ryan, I did want to make a point. Like, when I say ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, I got that from your channel. Because I think it's great that you include the non-binaries in that. I think so. I always thought that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do what I can.
Yeah. Word up. Let's see that EFUT guy. By force assembled. I love that. So the Slack Club is cool. Everything's cool. Let's see. We got some more things to do. Get something from the closet. This is from Fitness Gal, or from the room. This is from Fitness Gal 2012. I have a Bean Boozled coming up. Ryan, I'll be right back. Let me just, if you wouldn't mind entertaining the chat for just a second. I'm just going to grab something. Hopefully you'll like it too. Let me see. Okay.
Sure.
Right on. But thank you all in the chat, by the way, for your help in the starting lineup. That was really good. Chris says, I love your starting lineup so much, especially your iconic, handsome talking voice. You're too kind. But thank you. I'll be right back.
Well, chat, it's so good to be here on the Sandwich Show, talking about my two favorite things, music and food. And I hope you all are having a fantastic week so far and had a fantastic Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Friday. What do you got for me, David?
Well, Ryan, I have this for now. I know that Pat Metheny is one of your favorite artists.
Yes.
And so, but you said Genesis is your favorite artist too, so maybe I might get that too. I actually have a bunch of Genesis albums too, which I think, trying to remember. Well, I have Selling England by the Pound. I have the one that came before that, like the last one with Peter Gabriel. No, that was the last one with Peter Gabriel. The one before that, then. But the one I have for you. Oh, what was that?
Oh no, the last one with Peter Gabriel. Sorry, just a quick correction. It was actually Lamb Lies Down.
Lamb Dies on Broadway, and I think I have that too. So, you know, I did not pick up on that before the show. So what I have for you instead, the Pat Metheny Group.
Turn left.
Yeah, Turn Left, Off Ramp. So this came out in 1982, and this is the vinyl version. So I was really hoping to. This is why one of the reasons I was excited to have you on the program, so I could show this to everybody. But
that's a great record. Oh,
absolutely. It just grooves from beginning to end. It's really fun. So you put this on the turntable. Good times. So check out the. This is the back of it. So this is what layouts look like on vinyl records. So much room. You could get the photos of everybody on there. And
there's my man Lyle Mays.
Oh yeah, for sure. Lyle Mays, 100%. Right underrated. Here. If you guys are wondering, hey, he's looking pretty dapper in that photo. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah. So there it is. That's what I've got. It came in this. This is so fancy. It had like a plastic sleeve. See that? So it's good. Anti-static. Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, vinyl, as I think you've talked about this on stream. It's fun to collect, but clearly not a practical thing to own. But I have room for it, so it's all right. So
yeah, someday, because I have to be honest. I didn't think vinyl. I didn't used to think vinyl had anything on CD or digital or anything, but then a friend of mine in Florida played me. It was actually a Vanguard Jazz Orchestra album, a live album, from like 1980. First on digital and then on vinyl, and the difference, it was night and day. It was like going from 2D to 3D. It was like going from black and white to color. I mean,
yeah.
I just heard so much more warmth and so much detail in the sound. And, it was a good sound system. It makes all the difference.
Right.
But from that point, I was like, okay, when I can afford it and when I have the space for it, definitely make the switch and start collecting someday when I don't live in a shoebox.
Yeah, but to your point, to do it right, it's money. It is money. Like
it's a commitment.
You're talking like thousands of dollars, I think, if you really want the most out of that. But I hope it happens for you sometime, because it is really fun, particularly with the jazz records. They can be really amazing.
Oh yeah, it's really fun to kind of chase down obscure records and try to find stuff that few people have heard before. There's this great if you're ever in New York, again, this is one of those things I was talking about, one of those things you would never know unless you knew someone in the know. It's this place called the Jazz Record Center. It's a record store in Chelsea, and it's like on the 12th floor, the 8th floor or something of this building. And you would never know if you just walk by. It just looks like an apartment building or something. But you ring this buzzer, you take this elevator up, and then you walk through a door, and all of a sudden, there's just records everywhere. And you can find, limited edition stuff in there. You can find autograph stuff. It's really cool.
Wow.
And I would definitely love to sink my teeth into that once I have the setup. But for me right now, also, it's little things like there's this website called sugarmegs.org. It's this huge, huge database of bootleg recordings. And it's like all sorts of artists. You got rock bands in there. You've got jazz artists. You've got, jazz fusion artists. You've got a lot of Grateful Dead. If you're a Deadhead, if you're into that kind of thing, there's a lot of Grateful Dead. But there's all sorts of stuff in there, and I've learned so much just kind of digging into these obscure live recordings of artists I love and hearing like, that's what they sounded like in Cleveland this one night in 1973 or whatever. It's fascinating.
That is cool. Oh, you mean that they were definitely known for those bootleg concert recordings. The Dead. Yeah, that would be really fun. Okay, so let's say goodnight to Tin Tam. Thank you so much. Can we give Tin Tam one more shout out? Let me go ahead and take care of that.
Tim Tam.
So good to see you in the chat, Tin Tam. Have a good one, my friend. Good gamer, by the way. He's got some fun gaming streams. So if you're into gaming, which I know you're getting into video game music, but I was always curious as to whether you're a gamer yourself in general.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay.
It's been a while. Back in the day, for sure.
Right.
I was mostly a PC guy. I played like Battlefield 1942 and Call of Duty and stuff like that. And I'm never a big console guy, although I have a Nintendo Switch now, and I've always been a fan of Nintendo games and Mario and Zelda and stuff like that. But lately I've been getting big into chess, actually.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, very hard game. It's kind of addictive. It's quite a rabbit hole. It's just such a deep and interesting and complex game, and it's so dynamic, and every game is interesting and unique in its own way. And our boy Graxanov is actually a great chess player. He's beat me a few times now.
That doesn't surprise me. Grax is pretty brilliant as well, So I know
and
he's
humble. So humble.
Yeah, true. He definitely downplays it. This is true. But right on, man. It's great. Well, I hope things move. I hope you start getting better at chess. I think that's great. I think it's a great game to get good at. I mean, if you do, there'll be many, many parks along the seaside where you can play the game, as I see in TV,
Yeah, maybe one day I'll muster up the courage to challenge one of those chess hustlers in Washington Square Park.
Right.
Some of those guys are dirty. They're like 17 or 1800 rating. I'm like an 800 rating in Rapid, which is 10 minutes, and then in Blitz I'm like 600. I'm working on it. I'm doing puzzles. I'm studying and openings. It's a whole thing. But
okay,
yeah,
right on. Well, let's say hello to Muppet Stooges fan 1. So good to see you. By the way, another great fan of music, Muppet Stooges fan. His taste in music is awesome. I've seen him post a lot of cool songs and bands on our Discord, which is here if you guys want to check out the Sandwich server. But Muppet, so good to see you in the chat. I'm glad you're here. I can appreciate the fact that you're here proves you have great taste in music, because Ryan Slatko is with us and doesn't get much better than his work. So it's really cool. So okay. So Tim Tam's on his way out. So would anyone be willing to clip this on our behalf for him? Because he did redeem Bean Boozled. I might just give him the points back though, because I'll look into that. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna clip it and I'll send it to him. So we will do the Mentos. We will do the Bean Boozled tonight. So this is the free one. If you want me to do more of these, you can donate to Wonder Truly's cause by doing this. The link is here. There you go. I will keep track of that throughout the rest of the program. But this is what we do normally on a regular show, Ryan. So we have this redeem, which is based off of Human Juke 81's redeem for Bean Boozled. And basically, we take a bean, and it could be a good flavor or it could be a terrible flavor, but it looks the same either way. Oh, not this one again. I'm not doing the brown one. Oh!
That's a scary color.
Brown, right? Right. We are eating the bean, which unfortunately is my least favorite bean by a million miles, the white bean, which is either spoiled milk.
Oh, no.
I know. Oh, it's bad. Or it's coconut. I know. Even the coconut doesn't sound that great. Let's see. Oh, God. Ah!
Oh,
I hate it.
oh no.
God. The worst. Ugh.
Baby, you have my deepest sympathy.
Thank you.
There's something about eating something horrible that you just feel violated.
You do.
Ugh.
Especially with
You
this.
Take a shower.
Take a shower, is that what I heard? I know it. Tuba says you hate coconut. No, it's not the coconut. I would not react like that if it was the coconut. Oh, I love this daddy fat guy. Mama said never to cry over spilled milk, but spoiled milk is... Oh, spilled milk, but spoiled milk is totally acceptable. Yeah.
Spoiled milk is a tragedy.
Oh, God. That's just such punishment. Like, it's like most foods you don't have that kind of a reaction when you leave it out for too long. But, man, you get spoiled milk involved. Good God. It ruins your whole day. It really does. Like, now... Oh, God. That's not a memory you want to relive. But there it is. Oh, enjoy your lurk, Aaron. Did you hate coconut? I did at one time, but I certainly, whatever coconut is, I don't hate it anymore. And just to prove my point, I have an Almond Joy right next to me. So I like coconut on some level. So there that is. But
not in bean form.
For sure. Dudes, just wait. You'll get cheese. Funny, because milk kind of, you spoil milk, it turns into cheese. Good.
They're the same thing. Yep, that's how it works.
I think that is how it works. Tuba's on point. That's pretty good. So coconut's kind of like a condiment for superior foods. Interesting. I don't know. That's an interesting take. What do you think of that, Ryan?
Coconut is a what?
It's like a condiment for superior foods. Like you would put it on top of, I don't know, certain cakes, or it's an interesting thought.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the strongest opinions on coconut. I'm not a big sweets guy. I'm not a big dessert guy. I always prefer dinner over dessert. I leaving room for dessert. Come on, who has time for that? Yeah, I mean when I do, and like it was things like too, like I was never, I mean as a kid I liked Halloween, but only for the dressing up part. I couldn't care less about the candy, And what we actually do is, like, my brothers, we would get together at the end of the night. We had our bags full of candy. We would dump them on the floor, and we would trade. We would, like, barter with each other until we got what we wanted. And my pile ended up being, like, all chocolate. It's like all I like. I love chocolate. But, yeah, never been a big sweets guy, personally.
That's an interesting... Yeah, I mean, I do know a lot of people who do have a sweet tooth, but... Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, as you mentioned, you have a great taste in other foods. Like, you love other foods. Like, steak, you said, was a great one. Okay. So in New York City, there's a really good hotbed of steakhouses, right? So where have you had the best steaks?
I'm a little limited in that experience because I'm a jazz musician. I don't eat at steakhouses very often.
Oh,
But
understood. Yep.
but there's one I can't remember what it's called. It's right by Penn Station.
Okay.
And it's great. I mean, there's Peter Luger, which is like famous. It's like an institution. I don't know. I heard it's not as good as what it used to be. But I mean, honestly, I don't know. Nicole and I make steak at home from time to time, and I think it's great. You know, I think my method is great. Just pan sear it. If it's like a thick cut, like a ribeye or something, maybe you reverse sear it or you butter baste it or do something with it. And whatever it is, we just slice it and eat it, and it's great. Love steak.
Yeah, I do too. I do. And I think to your point, I mean, I've had friends who say that if you make it a quality, it really amounts to the meat itself, right? You get a really good like quality choice, or even like prime cut. And if you're good at cooking it, it's right up there with anything else. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't really matter what method you use. If you broil it or sous vide it or butter baste it or whatever, it's just as long as you end up with a crusty exterior and a pink inside. Because if you eat well done steak, we cannot be friends.
Oh no way.
That is a crime against beef, sir.
No, I love that. Hey, our friend Firelord Critch is in the chat. Can we give Firelord Critch my cousin? My cousin Firelord Critch, who gave me my name. He's the Davey's eating a sandwich is something he used to say to me. So that's where that name comes from. So fun fact about my Twitch channel. Yeah. So he saw me eating a sandwich and said, Davey's eating a sandwich. And we had fun with that. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you for the shout out. And Firelord Critch says, the cut truly maketh the steak. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. What's your favorite cut? Do you have a favorite cut?
I like a ribeye.
Ribeye's good.
A nice ribeye.
Nice.
Maybe a fillet too if I'm in the mood or something like that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, I also like like a marinated grilled skirt steak. Totally different vibe, but also great. You throw it on tacos or whatever. That's great.
Yeah, they both can coexist. I think that's the beauty of it. So.
Yeah, it's just different things. It's just like what are you in the mood for?
Yeah.
It's like when people ask what my favorite music is, what my favorite band, what my favorite song, I can't answer that. That's a different thing every day. If you ask me today versus tomorrow, it's going to be a different answer. Tomorrow you're going to be like, you were lying. Like, no, I wasn't. I'm telling the truth today, and I'm telling the truth yesterday. I don't know what I'm saying.
You were telling the truth yesterday too. I totally understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, love it. Let's ask one more question, then we'll go to random questions with everybody. For the chat gets to ask questions of you. But do you have favorite albums? Like, so for example, for Genesis, like, would you have a particular album that moved you more than the others?
Yeah, that's tough because
it is.
Their albums are so different. People ask you if I like the Peter Gabriel era or the Phil Collins era. I love them both. I think they're both great for different reasons. I guess I tend to like the live albums, like Seconds Out, because you get to experience a little bit of everything. But like Trick of the Tail is a classic for me. That was the first album after Peter Gabriel left, and a few people know this, but Phil Collins was a drummer long before he was a singer.
That's true.
And he stepped up to be the lead vocalist of Genesis just because they could not find someone who fit the vibe they wanted. So Phil would play drums on the records and sing on the records. And then when they played live, he would sing, but then they would have this guy, Chester Thompson, who's amazing. He played with Frank Zappa. They would have him play drums for the concerts. And then there'd be like these double drummer moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane. I mean, it's going to be a little different when I see them live because Phil can't play anymore. It's really sad. His wrists, his back is all messed up. So he's going to be sitting in a chair singing. And his son is going to be playing drums, but he sounds amazing. I've heard him. So
cool.
It'll be interesting. We'll see.
That's nice that it ran in the family. That's a good sign. Like Jason Bonham, John Bonham to Jason Bonham. So that kind of works out too. So that's nice to know. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, wow, we got some action in the chat. Let's see. There's a whole conversation going on over here. Oh, Pinball says, I like sweet, but also think too many American foods are about 3 times as sugary as necessary. What a statement. Pinball, I agree with you. Like, they kind of overdo it. Cake frosting is like the worst of that. You know, it's like so unnecessary. You know, it's just like it's way too much of that.
Yeah, Nicole will back you up on that.
Oh, yeah?
She loves cake, but yeah, the frosting is just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sweet.
Yeah.
Or here's another example, like the kind of the American interpretation of Chinese food, which a lot of people just know as Chinese food. Mm-hmm. They think Chinese food, they think the takeout joints. You get your lo mein, you got your sweet and sour pork, you got your General Tso's chicken and all that. That's just Chinese chefs adapting to the American palate, which they like things deep fried and they like them like sweet and sour and stuff. But the real deal is so much better. And if you're lucky enough to be in a place where you can get real authentic Chinese food, it's like a totally different universe.
Ooh. Yeah. We'd have to look into that. We get that out here too, I think, on the east side certainly. But definitely look, I mean, New York's certainly known for good Chinese food, so that would be a really fun venture.
Definitely.
Yeah. E-Flat Guy, Slatko cooking stream when?
I've actually thought about this. Like, how would I get a streaming setup that would work? I thought about. I think what I'd have to do is I'd have to get like one of those lapel mics that you do for like talk shows.
Yep.
So I can move around and talk to chat. And I could maybe set up like different camera angles, like one by the counter, one by the stove. I think that'll be really fun. And I do want to give it a try. If folks are interested in that, I don't know.
Count me in. I'm in. I'm interested in it. Let's go.
Great.
Let's go. I'll set my calendar for that one.
Yeah, tonight Nicole and I we do a lot of like Chinese. We do a lot of stir fries. We did so like the way Chinese meals usually work is it's like shared, and then however many people are sitting at a table, you get that number of dishes. So like when we eat together, we make 2 dishes and then we kind of share each of them. So this tonight was shiitake mushrooms and bok choy, and then the other one was pork with cucumber, which doesn't sound like much, but it's, I don't know, something about those two, they add up to more than they are, they're more than the sum of their parts. It's like synergy or something like that. But we made all kinds of things. We made mapo tofu. We've made too many things I can't remember them off the top of my head. But yeah, Slat cook stream soon. I promise.
Let's go. Slat cooks. Good times. Okay, so let's see. Tuber was asking, as far as the steakhouse you were talking about in your pen, is it Butcher and Banker or Penn Station Steakhouse?
Butcher and Banker? Actually, what if I look at my phone? Like that, this might be the thing where if I look at the map area, I'll like recognize it. Okay. But yeah, I can't really remember. I went there a few times with my dad. Is this it? I don't know if it was this. It might have been the other one you mentioned. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. That's how it goes,
That's
New
all
York
good.
On a budget.
Let's see. We have Tuba says, what does the person who likes well done steak say when you ask them why? Nothing, because they're still chewing.
Well, it's that quote from King of the Hill. It's like Bobby asks, like, Dad, what if someone asked for their steak well done? And then Hank is like, politely but firmly ask them to leave. Love that.
I remember that. That's pretty good. Good times. Let's see. Mapo tofu. Yeah, that's a deep cut as far as the Chinese food genre. That's pretty cool.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Indeed. And our friend Firelord Critch knows. Love it. All right, so Sandwich Show chat. It is now time to give you the opportunity to ask a question to our friend Ryan Slatko. And if you just give me a moment, I will go to the queue. Just make sure I can see it. Mods, let's go ahead and open up the queue as we're ready to prep for another edition of America's favorite moment in Twitch broadcasting.
Do the dance. It's time for random questions. Good stuff. Ask us anything.
Let's do right, let's ask anything of our friend Ryan Slatko tonight, and as well as we continue to raise up, as we continue to get to know our friend and jazz aficionado, Genesis aficionado too, as it turns out. Really good stuff. Let's see. So if you have a question for us, let me make sure the queue's open first. So hold on, let me open it.
What a great theme. That slaps so hard.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I got that from a jingle company. Named. It's actually a very famous company. Jam Creative Productions did a custom version of that for this show, so that was really cool. So, it's neat that they can do jingles for like little people's streams like my own. So it's totally worth it. I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was totally worth the investment. So, so if you have a question, exclamation point question followed by the question itself, and we'll ask anything of our friend. See, that's basically what this is. This is basically a Reddit AMA, but like in like video form. So let's do it, folks. All right, let's see.
All right.
Yeah.
Open up the floodgates.
Yes. Oh, and Firelord Critch, my cousin Christian, who asked this question earlier. I just forgot to mention it, but he asks opinions on duck eating / cooking it.
Duck is great. Yeah, I've only done the only way I've cooked duck is the kind where you get a duck breast and you cook it skin side down. And duck is very fatty, so the fat will kind of render out and it cooks in its own fat. But yeah, duck is awesome. The Chinese really know how to do it the best. Cantonese roast duck, Peking duck. Yeah, duck is great. 100%.
That's cool, Ryan. I'm a huge fan of duck. The succulence of it, just delightful. It just had to touch, So, good stuff.
Very satisfying.
Very much so. Do you do the plum sauce with it? You said you don't like sweets too much, so would you skip the plum sauce or would you roll with it?
In that case, I'll go with plum sauce. Sure. I mean, it's. But the thing is, plum sauce, like in that context, it's not just sweet. It's got other stuff going on. It's got salty and umami and all this stuff going on, and it really complements the duck, really well. It's the same thing with like turkey and cranberries. Like, I'm not a big cranberry guy, but when I taste them together, I'm like, okay, I get it, But I think sweet and savory together, it takes a while to get used to that. Like your palate really has to kind of mature, and for that reason, like I think probably kids wouldn't be into that stuff, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I'll say this: just to speak to your points, they do complement each other really well. Like they just kind of like this. That's really good. So it does need to be a little bit milder. It can't be like completely sweet, or else it's just too distracting, and then you're not really tasting the duck anymore at that point. So
yeah, for sure.
Well designed. Okay, let's see what's next in the queue. Thank you for these questions. What great questions. The first two questions, funny enough, are about food, which I think it's just hysterical.
Let's hear them.
Let's hear them. All right, so this from Tuba Dudes, who's also originally from New York, too. FYI.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he asks, corned beef or pastrami?
Oh, man, don't do me like this. That really depends on the mood. So corned beef is just boiled, and then pastrami is smoked, and it's got like that rub on the outside. I don't know, man. That's one of those that depends on the day, depends on the mood. I can tell you, like, these days, I'm eating a lot more corned beef than pastrami. I don't know. I guess I feel like corned beef has a little more utility. Pastrami is great, but it's a little more specialized. So, like, one of my favorite foods of all time is corned beef hash. You cook it with potato, and the salty, briny corned beef and the potato just go together so well. It's like my perfect breakfast. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
man, I'm with it. Good times. Let's see. I'm just checking to see if there were any other comments in the chat that weren't. Oh yeah, as far as the duck, Rahomo says opinion. It tastes foul. That's a good one, Rahomo.
FOWL.
He's good for those jokes. All right, sounds good. Let's see. What do we have next? We got a lot of questions tonight. This is great. That E-flat guy. He asks, Ryan, did you know that you were my second ever follow on Twitch after my friend's band who tried out the platform? And beyond the yes/no question, what inspired you to get started on the Twitch platform?
Well, first of all, I'm flattered to be your second ever follow. That's huge. That's deep. And I'm glad to have had you with me. But E flat guy has been with the community almost since the beginning. And yeah, I've told this story a few times, but I'll tell it again because the reason I really got on Twitch in the first place, I gotta give credit where it's due, Mr. Dom Palombi. I first met Dom actually on a J Music gig. Pat was the only person who knew Dom. I was just kind of like, who's this dude? And then he started playing, and he's like, oh, he sounds great. Okay. And after the gig, we carpooled to this restaurant for this post gig hang, and we were talking and really kind of connecting on a lot of stuff. And then we didn't talk for a while, but then when pandemic hit, I remember seeing like posts about him playing on Twitch, and I asked him about streaming because I was kind of interested in getting into it. And then I checked out his stream, and I was just like, wow, this is so cool. I've never seen anything like this. Here you got this challenging live stream format, and he's just killing it. He's just being so charismatic. He's playing. He's got this awesome setup. It looks great. It sounds great, and it really inspired me to start figuring it out. And I've been inspired by a lot of other Twitch musicians. Jonathan Ong, 88-bit music. Guys who both great musicians, but then also really find something creative to do with the platform, with streaming and alerts and ways of interacting with chat. Because I kind of realized from the start that just doing live stream as a concert in a concert format doesn't work. You gotta talk with chat. Like, that's kind of half the appeal of live streaming. You get to interact with your audience in this really personable way, and I still love that about it. But yeah, I mean, Mr. Don Palombi helped me out so much in the beginning with tech stuff, with giving me ideas and giving me encouragement and sending followers my way, and the collabs. And yeah, I'm just grateful for all he's done. Shout out to Mr. Don Palombi Music.
Big time shout out. I just did a shout out in the chat. I mean, I too am a big fan. I'm too a fan of Don Palombi. He's very cool, and he's really good on the drums as well. So I'm really glad he brought you to the platform, because we're all better for it. 100%.
Yeah, and I just love what he's done too. Of just like, he's so great at creating a community and creating an environment that's just like a really comfortable hang.
Yeah.
And that's something I aspire to do, because I don't know, I've never thought of myself as the charismatic type the way he is. But I'm working on it. It's been a year. It's good.
Word up. Yeah, I mean, you definitely reach out to the chat, and I think your point on that is really fantastic, because I have seen some streams, not going to name names, but some streamers do just kind of just play their music and just kind of roll through it, and maybe they say, hey, the chat, like as an entity, chat, you did great, you guys are cool. But referring to people individually does a lot, I think, to build your community. And I always
and the worst offenders I've seen for this are not necessarily on Twitch. It'll often be like, okay, such and such arts foundation is live streaming this concert with the great so and so, and they're just on this stage and you're just watching them play. And I don't know, it feels like there's like when you're watching a band play on stage, there's already a degree of separation, but then when you're live streaming that, it's like another degree of separation. You feel like so distant from them. It's weird, something about it. But yeah, I've loved working with this format and working with the interesting challenges and the creative options it allows me, like creating an alert that's literally a corporate ad break.
I love that corporate ad break. That's so fun. That's so fun.
How many of us have heard ads that just start with
Yeah.
It's just thirds. It's just the third. Like, what do you need? An IQ of 3 to play that?
It's
I'm
so
just gonna start my students on that from now on.
That's so funny. It is so convincing when I see that redeem. I'm like, holy I do stream. I do swear on this program, but holy bleep! Like it is. It really is like a commercial for like an investment firm or insurance company or something.
Oh, like Ford or something.
The new Ford.
There's actually another funny, like kind of a sideline here, but like a funny example of this whole aesthetic and this whole like it's like library music, you know. There's a really interesting show called The Chef's Table. It talks about all these like famous, you know, Michelin star chefs or whatever who are doing really, but I don't know, sometimes they just speak so highly of themselves and in just lofty ways. I just find myself rolling my eyes like, I am changing the world with my food, you know. Like, dude, you're cooking, get over yourself. You know, it's
That
like
can be
you've heard of, you know about like molecular gastronomy, like, you know, foams and gases and just really high concept food that's just really like, what deconstructed this, you know, atomized.
I know. And I agree. I mean, you know, as much as I know we both love food, I agree that it can get very pretentious, and sometimes it can get nauseating how pretentious it can get.
Yeah, and for me, at the end of the day, it's got to be satisfying.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way, I feel a similar way about music. And there's a lot of music in New York that's very kind of highbrow and avant-garde, and it's like you got to be smart to get this, or you've got to know a lot about music to get that. And I'm not interested in doing stuff like that. I want the lay person to be able to take something away from my concerts. And, you know, all my heroes, guys like Pat Metheny, it's the same deal. They want the commoner to be able to understand what they're doing, at least at an elementary level. It can't just be, you know, that's art right there. You better dig that. Did I lose you?
Oh, I was gonna say if you don't get that, you don't understand. That's what I had myself. So no, I totally feel that. So let's see some comments. Let's see this from that E flat guy. I remember the first time I saw Ryan, he just immediately started responding to my messages, and I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the immediate conversation that is enabled by the platform.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, back in that day, back at that point, I was trying a little harder to like talk while playing the same way Dom does, but I kind of gave up on that. I just talk between songs because sometimes it's just too. I'll be in the middle of taking a solo, and I don't want the interaction to affect what I'm doing too much. Although that being said, you know, you can literally make me play the lick whenever you want. So there is that. You can interact with me that way. But if you want to like say words to me, you can just wait a minute.
It's fine. I mean, I'm used to the cadence of it. It took me a while to kind of get to know the cadence of it too, which I think it's fine. I mean, it certainly works out fine. Like, better focusing on the music at that point, at the point of the show, and then between songs, there's plenty of time to get to catch up.
And I realized on Twitch that, you know, after doing it for a while, I realized, okay, I need to be able to stand behind whatever I do. And like one thing I used to do was like free live learns for video game music days, which I know a lot of people miss those days, but it was just too hard. Like my mental health was so I was like sight reading all this video game music on stream and just giving kind of these half-ass performances, or well, not half-ass, but just like subpar, just like, oh, I can do better than this. This is so frustrating. I hate this. So like whatever I play on stream, I've got to be able to be proud of and stand behind. And, you know, rarely happens, but if I'm not feeling it one day, if it's just not working, I'll just stop streaming, because I would rather not carry on giving a performance that I'm not proud of. I think it's very important.
I respect that. Hopefully things, you know, I totally realize.
And chat understands.
Yeah,
Chat understands.
Chat absolutely does. We've been to your streams plenty of times, and we totally get the ebbs and flows of writing and playing music. And a good segue by E flat, the lick, the Symphony of LICC is something you do. Yes,
that is a thing I do. Yeah.
I mean, so you're composing a symphony in real time on stream. So it's basically a songwriting stream, but it's an ongoing series, and it's. I think your last episode.
And there's like 25 episodes.
Yeah, it's 25. That's the last one I saw on your channel page. So it's I love that it's continuously evolving. I think it's a good thing. And
Well, yeah, it happens, and I wanted, I thought it'd be cool to kind of give chat an insight on how a work progresses from start to finish. How you could start with just you start with just the smallest inkling of an idea, and you work on it, and through hard work, and not just, I don't know, waiting for like a lightning bolt of inspiration, but through trial and error and experimentation. I'm always asking on these streams, what if this? What if this? What if I do this? What if I do that? I just try stuff and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, okay, scrap it, move on. Don't get attached to it, because the whole issue of like writer's block, I think, is that you're afraid of writing something or drawing something or whatever it is you do. You're afraid of putting this creation down on paper because you're worried it's not going to be good. You're worried you're not going to like it. But it's actually more constructive to just write something. Just get something out. And then if you don't like it, okay, edit it and be very, be very pragmatic about, okay, why does that work? Why does that not work? How can I improve this? And guys who've watched the symphony streams know, like, I don't love every idea I write. Sometimes I try something, I don't like it. Okay, scrap it, move on.
But that's what's great about it. That's the charm of it. You can see the entire process. You can see what works and what doesn't, and then the process of eliminating what doesn't work and adding something that does work. And I think
and the artistic process is messy. There's a lot of trials and errors and just, it's not smooth sailing. It's not just it's not just an easy street. It's a lot of trial and error and I'm learning on the job too, because I've never written a symphony before. I've written orchestral arrangements, but nothing on this scale. So and the idea was to use these three licks, these three kind of ideas, these fragments of notes to create a whole symphony. See if I could do like how Beethoven did,
Yeah.
The whole thing stems from that. And that's kind of the magic of like those kind of composers. They're able to take an idea and develop it and transform it and turn it upside down and backwards and do all these things with it and generate all this music. And I think that's incredible. So I wanted to try and do that myself. And it's going. We're almost, I think we're like halfway through the fourth movement.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, we're getting there, home stretch. Orchestrating it.
How long do you think the whole thing would be once it's done? Like, so it, typical symphony might run about maybe 70 to 90 minutes or something like that. So what do you project as far as the length?
Probably shorter.
Shorter than that? Okay.
The first movement's about 8 minutes.
Okay.
The next movements are definitely shorter, and I don't plan on adding much more than that. But it's my first thing. I don't want to go too crazy with it. I just kind of want to get my feet wet. But what's really cool and kind of encouraging is because I've had a few guys on stream like Tennessee Symphony and Arbafish who actually orchestrate for a living. And on one hand, they gave me some really helpful, constructive criticism, like, okay, you should do this. Don't do this. That doesn't work or whatever. But then they've also kind of been really reassuring. I'm like, this sounds good. This sounds legit. You sound like you could be like a real orchestrator, and that just tickles me to hear. So, it's been an insane and ridiculous body of work I've done, but I'm happy I did it because I'm learning a lot, for sure.
It really does sound rewarding, and I love that. I'm glad that it's working out for you so far. So that's really great. Let's see. Fatty Flat Guy. My only relative that became a professional musician, my great aunt, she would first sight read a piece going from the end and reading it right to left.
Interesting.
That is. Then once she got back to the beginning, she would try it the way it was supposed to be read. Why? She said, that way there's no surprises when I play it forwards.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. That's so interesting.
That reminds me of that Victor Borga bit where he puts sheet music in front of him and he's like, and then he like turns it upside down and goes in. That's actually hard to play on piano. I've never tried to play that on piano. Repetitive notes. So on and so forth.
Charge! I love that's it. It's so interesting. So yeah, that's an interesting point because some things are easier to play on a guitar than a piano. Some things are easier to play on trumpet than a piano. And some things are easier to play the piano than a guitar, and so on and so forth.
Anything with repeated notes, just I won't bother.
That does sound tough. Like, because it's just the motion supports this. So if you're going up, down, up, down, up, down, if it's the same note.
Repeated notes is kind of a whole technique where you kind of just alternate fingers. I don't practice that a great much, and it's hard to really do that. Like I can sit on one note fine, you know.
Yeah.
Or you know that kind of thing, but like it's hard to do that in the context of a line. Like there's this John Coltrane tune. It's like that. As it's easier to do on saxophone. You're just like tonguing a note versus attacking it again on a piano.
I just love that demonstration. That's really great. So the first song that comes to mind when you talk about attacking the same note over and over, I think everybody knows this by now, but the Billy Joel song "Prelude, Angry Young Man," that beginning where you kind of do the same note, where you just do like this, like that. Well, actually, I did it terribly, but I'm obviously not nearly as good as piano. But you probably heard that a million times. But that's kind of the same. What he does is he uses two fingers to do that. He uses like this and this.
Oh yeah, that's one way of doing it. But then you know that your left hand is no longer freed up to play chords.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is kind of the whole thing. Yeah, just having that left hand free.
Right on. Okay. Well, y'all, these are some really good comments in the chat. So thank you very much for that. Let me just quickly remind. We got a question from Tuba, who asks, Ryan, where is your gig this Friday? And Ryan, why don't you tell him where the gig is? I'll show the ad for you.
The gig is at Rockwood Music Hall, Stage 3, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah,
and it's in the Village in New York City, right in the heart of it all.
Lower East Side. Yeah. Lower East Side, but yeah.
Lower East Side, right on. So, if you want to get to the concert, there is a link in the chat. I just put in the chat. I'll do it again.
Yep.
There's the link in the chat.
Scan that QR.
Exactly. Scan the QR code, and that's another way you can get tickets. So if you'd like to get a ticket, tickets are, I would say, reasonably priced, and it would be totally worth your while, I think, if you're in the area. So Tuba says he might be in town. So hopefully.
Wow. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I'd love to meet you.
Tuba's a musician in his own right too. He does some piano with the touring band as well. So I hope you meet him. That'd be really great. He's really fun. Like you can catch him. You see him a lot in a couple places. Actually, 3 places. So Bill Larkin Music, who's a parody musician, really good. He mods for him. He, I thought, was a mod for Justin the Netherlands channel, which is cool, as we all know them. And then Laura Wiley Piano, he recently got the nod to be a mod for her channel too. So good company, of course.
Nice, yeah.
All right, so let's see. What do we have next in the queue? Oh, this is for me. Okay, so this question, I'll be quick. What is the hardest song you've had to learn, whether it's for a gig or a Twitch stream or what have you?
Easy. Juba Life City, Pokemon.
Ooh, not a jazz song. Interesting.
No, I mean, well, it's kind of funny. I mean, like, okay, when I first learned Donna Lee by Charlie Parker, which is... like that when at the time I learned that song, it felt like the hardest thing I'd ever learned. But A, I had a lot less experience then, and B, I was not as good of a musician back then. So relatively speaking, it was hard. But now, even at my current skill, which is a lot higher than it was when I was in high school, Juba Life City, Pokemon kicks my ass every single time. The chords are crazy. The melodies all over the place. The chords, like the key centers kind of shift in a really unexpected and unpredictable way. Very hard song. Yeah, I still struggle playing that song. Um, to this day. But there's an interesting Adam Neely video about hard music, about all the different ways that music can be difficult. Right? It can be technically difficult, like for Liszt for piano or Paganini for violin. But over time, people learn those techniques and they overcome it. Whereas some songs are more conceptually challenging. And there are even like jazz standards out there that are not technically challenging, but something about the melody, the changes just doesn't sit right with me. Like I just can't get it into my head, and that can be challenging. But yeah, Pokemon Jubilife City is crazy hard, and mad props to anyone who can pull that song off.
Well, that E-flat guy concurs with your statement because he says, "Gaming Legend asked me to learn that, and I was unprepared."
Yep, freaking gaming legend. Love the guy. Yeah, he made me do that again and again. He's like, "Come on, you can do it. You can do it."
Wow, so he's got a reputation around these parts, huh? Wow.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Old gaming. He's great. He's a great guy.
That's
great
cool.
Mod and...
Yeah. Much love to you. Does he stream too? I can give him a shout out. I don't know, but
That's a good question. I haven't seen him streaming.
okay. Well, much love, Gaming Legend, if you're watching this today or the next day on VOD. But nice to meet you. Okay, this is from Jason L. Rush. Oh, this is great. Ryan, he asks, how did you open negotiations with the devil on being as talented as you are? Or is yours the whole hard work and discipline kind of skill?
Well, it's a few. It's a few things. I'm maybe some people in chat know this, but I am one of those lucky people you hate to know who have perfect pitch. But I will say, while that makes it makes some things very easy, it makes some things very difficult, like transposing a song, like changing the key of a song. The first time I had to do that, I was like, I don't understand. You could just move a song's key and all the pitches somehow retain their relationships. It was like doing math or something for me. And I had a lot of trouble with it because it's a whole thing. But yeah, it's perfect pitch. But it was also that, and I did a lot of work. When I was an undergrad at UNF, I was really hungry. I was on a mission to become a great musician, and I didn't care about anything else. And I spent hours and hours and hours in the practice room grinding it out. And the whole 10,000 hour rule, I don't know how much truth there is to that, because there's quality and quantity, right? You have to put in a lot of hours, but it also has to be good quality hours, right? If you just spend 10,000 hours playing Hanon or playing C major scale, you're not going to get better. But I was really pushing myself harder, and I think, Food Manchu kind of pointed out, he said, I am a grinder. Like, I'm a person who's willing to grind and just do a thing over and over and over in the pursuit of getting it better. Whereas some people don't want to do that. Some people are just like, oh, that's boring, or I'm getting tired of this song, I want to move on. But, classical musicians will spend 2 hours on 2 measures. It's insane. But yeah, it's just a lot of time and seeking out opportunities to play with musicians who are better than me any way I can, and just always being hungry, being on the prowl, going to jam sessions and learning that way, learning on the scene as well as learning from school, because they're both important. And also, like, now I'm in New York, like, I can't be big-headed. I'm in New York. Like, there's guys on my block who could play circles around me. That's crazy. There's a lot of great musicians here, and a lot of different kind of musicians, people who have skills I don't have, whereas maybe I have skills they don't have. But still, I look at them and I'm just like, I want to do that. But yeah, it's just this constant pursuit and this constant hunger and this constant yearning to get better, and just practice your butt off, practice every day, practice for hours. But it's really like it's like listen, practice, and play. Those 3 things. Finding a good balance of those 3 is how you get there, I think.
I think practice it's a really big part of that. I feel like the greatest musicians, the greatest athletes, the greatest writers, do it with a lot of practice. And it sounds like, based on what I've seen of your channel, you are certainly no different. I love the term grinder is absolutely brilliant to describe your work ethic. Work ethic is a huge part of it. You might think, well, he's talented. Yeah, but with it comes with like hours and hours of working on a single song, like you were just saying.
Yeah, and there's a responsibility to it. I mean, and I've seen very talented musicians, guys with like really great ears or like really great sense of time or just great sense of musicality, which not everybody has, and you can't really teach it. Just a general sense of musicality and what is musical and what isn't, which it's so hard to teach. There are guys who have that stuff going for them, but they just don't practice, and then they just fall by the wayside. They just don't go anywhere, and it drives me crazy. I'm just like, dude, you had it in the palm of your hand. What are you doing? Ooh. Come on, practice. And I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I really kind of felt like I was on a mission to seek out whatever my potential was, like whatever I could be with what I already have, and then adding on to that, hours and months and years of work, and seeing where I can get. And I'm actually I'm gonna start. I think in the new year I'm gonna start doing some more practice streams if anyone is interested during the day, to kind of share my process, but also like Twitch kind of keeps me on task. Like, I feel like I can't really lose focus if I've got an audience watching. I'm like, okay, I said I'm going to do this thing. I got to do this thing. But I'm actually going to be like revisiting my fundamentals, because I think I've lost a little bit of that since I've been out of school. I'm not in the same flow of like practice, go to class, rehearse, practice, go to class, rehearse, where I'm just, in life mode. And I'm trying to get that back, because I used to be spending hours in the practice room transcribing solos, working through stuff, just trying to get better, and I want to get that back. So, yeah, I'm gonna be going back to basics, so to speak, going back into the shed and really seeing if I can get better, because like right now where I'm at, like I'm playing a lot of gigs, and most of the practice I'm either getting ready for those gigs, or I'm just doing like bare maintenance stuff, doing scales or whatnot, but I'm not building new skills, and I want to start building new skills again. So I'm gonna see if I can do that, and take Twitch along for the ride. We'll see what happens.
So Jason is really enjoying your response, and he responds, Ryan, I desperately want to be just adequate at piano, but that time sink is daunting.
Don't let it be, because it's like an hour a day, if it's a good hour, can make all the difference. And it's the same thing with chess. Like, I think when you're learning any new skill, when you're practicing, you get to a point at a certain point in the day of like diminishing returns, where okay, your brain cannot possibly absorb any more information. You've exhausted it. It's time to give it a rest. Just come back at it tomorrow. And that's the thing they say with like chess. When you're trying to get better as a chess player, you shouldn't play that many games. You should study and do puzzles, but maybe play like 2 games a day. But then like analyze the crap out of them. And there's something to be said about that with music, which I didn't really mention, which is like record yourself and listen back and be constructive, and compare that to what you're going after. Like, have a clear vision in your head of what you want to sound like, modeling after maybe who are your top 3 favorite pianists or whatever, but like try to see what they're doing that you're not, and then record yourself, and compare. But yeah, I mean, like an hour a day of good practice over, again, days, weeks, months, years, it'll add up quickly. You'll be surprised. Like a year of that, a year of like a good hour a day, like you'll be kicking ass. I mean,
wow,
that's, yeah.
I think that's great.
And yeah, and I think in those early days too, it's really exciting to because that's when you're seeing the biggest increments of improvement in your early days. I mean, when you get better, it slows down. Like, it gets to a point where it's really, really hard to improve a skill. But again, just that kind of, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And just a little bit every day will make all the difference.
I will say, I'm having fun practicing stuff on the piano on my synthesizer too, and I think that there might be something to what you're saying because I feel like I've improved a good amount in the 5 or 6 months I've been trying it. But just like learning what to play and then playing it. One element of that is like sight reading, like you're just learning where the notes are. Like eventually you start to figure that out. Like, well, this line is E and this line is G, and you kind of go.
Sight reading is something you get better just by doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for sure.
For sure. I want to welcome Kenny's Prog Rock Jukebox into the chat.
Kenny!
My goodness, it's so good to see you. How you doing, Kenny? Welcome back. Welcome to the Sandwich Show. As you know, my name's Davey, and over on the right side of the screen is Ryan Slatko, a jazz wizard who has been kind enough to hang out with us tonight. So, Kenny, I have this for you. So, the Sandwich of the Week, you might be wondering what it is. So, let me tell you what it was. It is a Reuben. I got a Reuben from my local deli, Froman's Deli in Santa Monica. Here it is. And let me just get the focus in place. I've eaten some of it, but it's on the rye bread and everything. I know it won't be as good as the ones in your neck of the woods, but this is for California. It does a pretty good job for itself. It was pretty good corned beef in there. I think
your tacos are better, so you have that on us.
I'm with that. Oh, by the way, that's the next question actually in our queue. That's really good that you mentioned that. So, Firelord Critch with this question: what is the best taco meat?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick one. And tacos is kind of a different thing than like burritos for me as far as like the meat is concerned. But I actually really enjoy lengua, beef tongue.
Lengua's good.
Yeah.
Smooth.
You know.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to if I'm just at like a taco truck.
Yeah.
Which there's a few good taco trucks in New York. But yeah, or maybe like an al pastor, something like that.
Like it comes off the spit with the pineapple.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
No, that's the stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Come out west. We'll show you all the good tacos too, my friend. That'd be really fun.
I can't wait. I've never been to LA.
Okay.
And
wow.
I really want to make it out and just make a hang of it. Hang with you. Hang with Laura Wiley.
Right.
Who's
Why not?
like,
for sure.
Yeah, I've just met so many cool people through Twitch and made so many new friends. Had chances to meet a few of them IRL. It's always so great. And actually, on that note, by the way, chat, if any of you will be at MagFest this year, I will be there.
Nice.
I will be at MagFest.
Nice.
So yeah, if you're there, I'll be there too. We should definitely hang out. It'll be a lot of fun. I've never been, so it'll be interesting to experience it and see what it's like.
Oh, Firelord Crush loves your second answer too. So he first said hell yeah to the lengua, and then he said secondary hell yeah to the al pastor. I love it too.
Yes.
Great choices.
Nice.
Let's see. Kenny, how was your stream today? I was lurking this morning. I will say I was on your channel this morning, and is it Colleen Dauncey who you were collabing with for a little bit on that channel? I love your channel. Like, your channel's fun. So, Ryan and I can both speak to our love for progressive rock, and he mentioned earlier in the program that Genesis is his favorite band, especially among rock bands. It's his favorite band. So it's an interesting little factoid that at least I learned tonight. Maybe some of you guys already knew that, but it's pretty cool. Let's see. What's MadFest or MacFest? I think. Or MagFest. Oh, okay.
MAG, Music and Gaming Fest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like a big kind of con for video game nerds and musicians and video game musicians to collaborate and hang out and meet up, and there's a lot of Twitch streamers who are gonna be there. That's actually kind of how Dom Palombi met up with Pat Bartley of J Music, and if that hadn't happened, he would have met me, and I probably wouldn't be here talking to you guys. So there's that.
Ooh. Correction. Kenny was collabing with Jenny Colquitt. My fault. I wasn't even close with that. Sorry about that, Kenny. But anyway, much love. Yeah, that's a really fun stream. Like he knows and he writes on his channel he knows 3,000 songs, and as I go there, I totally believe that. he really does know quite a bit. Like that's quite interesting how many songs he really does know. So that's pretty good. So welcome in. Good to see you. Let's see. What else do we have in the queue? Let's see. We have Muppet Stooges fan 1. Oh, love it. Let's hear from your Muppets. Would you rather visit Hogwarts with Tom Hanks or Gilbert Gottfried? That's a question.
Well, what are their personalities like? Like, is Tom Hanks like a cool guy? I really don't know. I don't like follow celebrities that much. I mean, he seems like a cool guy.
I think so too.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we only know him through like his the roles he plays, but I don't think that really reflects who they are, right? Liam Neeson has great roles, right? But is he like not a great guy, or am I thinking of some? I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I feel like Gilbert Gottfried would be funny, but that would get old really fast. I'm just like, okay, dude, shut up. All right. Sideline. If you haven't seen it, one of the funniest videos on the internet is Gilbert Gottfried reading 50 Shades of Grey in his Gilbert Gottfried voice. It's just the funniest.
Oh, it's funny? Okay. Iago 100%. So Homo will do it. Is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll check it out. Let's see. Jason's yeah, that's funny. I don't know if I could do that for more than like 2 minutes. I mean, he had a perfect.
Let alone a whole semester.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness, that'd just be crazy. Like Jason L. Rush. I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast with Gilbert Gottfried and turned it off in 30 minutes.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Let's see. Rohamos says he also does a great version of the classic Aristocrats joke. I think that's a famous dirty joke that goes around. He says I don't recommend it. Okay. Muppets.
That is a bottom tier joke for me. That is a low tier joke.
Yeah, I've heard. I've not actually heard the joke. Interestingly, I just know about it.
It's an anti joke.
Oh, really?
You think it's ramping up for a punchline, then nothing happens. You're just like, I will never get those 3 minutes of my life back. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Really? That kind of thing. Oh boy. Yay.
I'm not a fan.
All right. So maybe I spared myself there. Let's see. Kenny masks insecurity with evasiveness. I'm sorry. Gigi used to be a guest on Howard Stern all the time. I have a tough time. He's all over the place. Oh, so he's saying Gilbert Gottfried masks insecurity with evasiveness. I gotcha. Yeah, he's a character, all right. He can be kind of an enigma. Tuba, go ahead and message the links to me in the in Whispers, and then I can post them in the chat, or I could give you the mod sword too, whichever you want. But yeah, let's continue on the queue. Jason L. Rush, Ryan, your parent guardian got to pick your career at the age of 18. Is this like a hypothetical, I guess? So let me read this again. Ryan, your parent guardian got to pick your career at the age of 18. What did they pick for you?
Oh, I see. Like what would I have done if my parents decided my path instead of me? I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing, like, because I could see it. Like, I could understand it being hard for a parent to really kind of get behind their kid wanting to do music for a living, because it's rough. It's a rough lifestyle. It's hard to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And as a freelancer, you really never know what the week to week or the month to month is going to look like. It's very all over the place. And I think at first my mom was kind of hoping that I would go into something a little more stable, something where I wouldn't have to worry about finances. But I think she kind of had a revelation with all these companies, because she works in software, like all these companies outsourcing, their employees and whatnot, and kind of seeing jobs go down left and right. And then short before she got laid off, just realizing like, you can go for the financially stable career and still not make it. You never know, so you might as well just go for it. I don't know if they. I think they always kind of saw me as I don't know, an engineer or an architect or something like. And I thought about that, but in high school, something just kind of clicked. It was just like, oh, I want to be a musician. Like I want to be happy to go to work every day. That seems like an existence that I would enjoy. I don't want to have a job I hate and hate like, you know, a third of my life or whatever. That sounds horrible. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
I think it's a great response though. And Jason was with it. He says, "Yep, exactly." Quote, "The band's not going to make it. Why not be an accountant?" You know, that's sort of what parents would think in that
yeah,
scenario.
plan B or something like that. Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. And then Kenny asks, follow up, do the words fall back make you cringe?
Fall back.
Yeah.
Spring forward.
Well, with time too, sure. But, you know, fall back on a certain career path or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like a Frank Zappa interview. It's like, what advice do you give to, you know, aspiring musician? He says, there's just two things you need to know. Don't stop and keep going. And it's really true. It's like, you know, and I always kind of think of it going back to food. Like, I think a career in music or anything like this that's really worthwhile to do, it's like cooking like a pork shoulder or something like that, or like a pot roast or something, a tough piece of meat that takes a long time to cook. You know, when a pork shoulder is not done yet, you don't just give up and throw it out. You keep cooking it. Just leave it in. Just keep going. Give it another hour until it's 160 or whatever.
Love it. Yeah, I think you would be an excellent motivator for people who want to get into music, and naturally so. But that's awesome that you feel that way. Let's see. Kenny says, fallback is what parents say when their child wants to pursue a career in music.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been very lucky. My parents have been very supportive throughout all this. They've just wanted to see me succeed and do whatever it takes. Not everybody is that lucky.
Yeah.
There's a saxophonist I know in New York, who's a great player, a very artistic, very creative guy. His father never approved of him trying to do music for a living. And his father actually forced him to go into like real estate as like a day job. And this whole kind of thing of him not approving of him wanting to do music for a living, it created kind of a strain on their relationship, which sounds horrible to me. I can't imagine that. But it's just some people's reality. You know, their parents don't get it. They don't understand, you know, what it is we're trying to do, what we're after, and what it takes, and that it takes all of your being, not just like some of it after you're done with your 9 to 5 or whatever. It's all of it.
Yeah, well said. Absolutely. Let's see. Tuba Dudes, my fallback saved my ass a couple times. Thanks, Dad. And Jason Elrush, apparently Ryan is the dad from Meet the Robinsons. Keep moving forward.
I've never seen it, so.
That's funny. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's a great point. Kenny's prog rock jukebox, real estate, because that's a stable career. Right? It's like
that comment was written in 2007.
I know.
Yeah. You ever see that movie, The Big Short?
I have seen that movie. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie. Kind of deconstructing the whole stock market collapse in 2008 for, you know, nimwits like me, or, you know, just people who don't kind of understand the nuances of Wall Street. Very interesting, very well done movie. Highly recommend it if any of y'all have not.
I co-sign the recommendation, and they make it funny too. Like they have little vignettes where they have like
and that cast, right? It's like Steve Carell is in it, Brad Pitt's in it.
Yep.
What's his name? The first guy you see. I'm terrible with like celebrity names.
Was Jonah Hill in that movie? I can't remember at this point. I thought so, but not sure. Not 100% sure. But Selena Gomez had like a spot, like a cameo spot. So that was funny. Like her in a bathtub, like just to demonstrate scenarios about how like interest rates and such, you know.
Yeah, like very dry finance stuff.
And here's Selena Gomez at the poker table to just show you how that works. Good times. It was a great movie. Kenny's Proud Route Jukebox. I love that you loved it too. Stonks. BR's in the chat. Hi, BR. To the moon. Jonah Hill's in there. Okay, cool. Cool, Kenny. Thanks for letting me know that. Margot Robbie was in the bathtub. Oh, right. So Selena Gomez, I think, was at the casino, and Margot Robbie was in the bathtub. That's right. Thank you for clarifying that, because I didn't remember that. But yeah, anyway, great movie. Very sobering, like, reality you learn in that movie, right? Because, like, all the people got cheated out of money, and it's just so evil. It's crazy. But
capitalism. That's a whole other stream.
Oh,
Capitalism.
yeah, that is definitely a whole other stream. Okay, we'll get to that another time. 100%. Irene is in the chat. Hello, Irene. Good to see you. Irene will be with me tomorrow. We're gonna do another stream tomorrow to announce it together wherever lineup. So, stay tuned for that. That'll be at 7:30 tomorrow. But good to see you, Irene. Hope you're doing well. Hope your Thanksgiving was good. And if any of you have questions for us in the queue to write to Ryan, please write the word question followed by exclamation point question followed by the question itself. And Kenny's Prog Rock Jukebox, absolutely. We'd love to hear a question from you about anything about anything to do with Ryan's career or his takes on food or movies or anything else. Same for you, Irene, and anybody else in chat. We'd love to hear your questions as well. Let's see. Oh, okay. Firelord Critch. I got your question, Critch. Firelord Critch. Excuse me. Is Davey cute? I'll leave that to the chat. Do you think I'm cute? That's a very odd question. It wasn't Selena Gomez. Oh, who was it then? Oops. I guess I got that way. Totes Presh, Davey. Totes Pressure. Totally.
Is Davey cute? Yeah, duh.
Thanks.
That's even a question.
That's nice of you to say that, Ryan. I just learned what the hell totes means this weekend. Maybe I'm kind of old.
Yeah, it's like a tote bag, like something you take to the grocery store.
That's exactly what it was. That's it. It was a bag. I didn't know. I used to think it was socks, but it's actually a bag. That's. Oh, that's funny.
Quick question: would any of my Slat Club friends buy a tote bag with a flaming spud on it? Is that a thing that anyone would be remotely interested in? Some Slat merch. I'm trying to roll out some Slat merch. So,
okay.
It won't be out in time for Christmas, but we do have janky stickers. Do I have them?
Let's see the janky stickers.
Janky sticker. Yeah.
Ah, nice. Janky, nice. In Star Wars font too. Really cool.
That's right. Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like there's one on the microphone.
Oh, okay. Okay. Super cool.
But I don't know. I just feel like the stream is janky sometimes, and it's a lot better now since I got the stream PC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just tricky. It's like I've got this very small space and I don't know, wires and things break, and I have to jerry rig solutions sometimes. Janky.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about Twitch that's charming about it is that I think we all kind of have our own varying degrees of jankiness. Like, I have jankiness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have to move a cable when I need to play something from the computer.
Yep.
Because otherwise it's
connected. Really stupid. But, if you don't want to go insane in life, you have to learn to embrace the jank.
Right.
And buy a sticker on my website. RyanSlatkomusic.com.
I love it. Get on that merch, everybody. Check it out. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do... Oh, right on, Tuba. Thank you for joining us tonight. I do want to do one more thing before you go. Tuba?
Sure.
Congratulations, you are now mod of the Sandwich Show. So anytime you come on back.
Did.
And yes, thank you for that. Man. And we also have awarded the mod sword to Jason L. Rush. Who would have given up? Yes. Woohoo. Congratulations, you guys. And if you want to opt out of being the mod at any point, let me know as well. But until then, please enjoy the mod duties, and a lot of cool responsibility will come with that. I'll let you know more later. But let's see. And Kenny's prog rock jukebox is sorry with Selena Gomez in The Big Short, but Jonah Hill was not. Jonah Hill he says you're thinking of The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I very much am. Yeah, that was The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill, Wolf of Wall Street. Did you see that one? I did not see that movie, but I did.
I didn't see Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I should see it though because I know it's earlier in the history timeline, but certainly similar things involved. A lot of sketchiness with the stocks. So. Okay, yeah, and he says that both movies are worth your time, so that's really cool. Firelord Critch, can you play The Entertainer? If you
no, I actually can't play it.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
I never learned it. I never went through that phase.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I when I learned piano, I started out playing just stuff by ear, and I kind of skipped straight to jazz. I didn't go through like any classical training or anything like that, and I certainly didn't learn like Joplin rags. So that's a big kind of gaping hole in my my musical development, which is one of the things I want to try and fill. Like I actually want to try to learn a Joplin rag for this upcoming Back to Basics Twitch series thing I'm doing. If it's not that, maybe Maple Leaf. I don't know. Is Maple Leaf harder? I don't know, but I don't know. It'd be a good thing to know, and I could learn something because that left hand bass is ferocious, you know. That kind of stride thing. And you know, when I go to like trad jam sessions in New York, I can see pianists who are just rocking that stuff, just their hands just moving so fast. I'm just like, I can't do that. That's just not in me. I can't do that. And well, I will never be, one of those guys who can just, dish that out like that. I want to at least be able to compete. I remember my good friend Josh Roberts was having a similar conversation with the great drummer Lenny White, who teaches at NYU. And, Josh is a great drummer, but, it's like as musicians, we all have our insecurities. And, it's easy to feel a little kind of insecure as a drummer when you see like these super talented guys like Chris Daddy Dave with gospel chops, right? These like drummers who grew up in a church and just have these I don't know how to describe it, like gospel chops. And the way Lenny put it, it's like, okay, maybe you'll never be on the level of those guys, but you need to at least be able to compete. And be able to offer something, and not just like if you're put in that situation, just completely fold, like a deck of cards. You need to at least be able to rise to the occasion, even if you're maybe limited by upbringing or whatever, something.
Yeah. I think, going back to what we were talking about with practice. Oh, and I do want to say goodbye to Tuba Dudes. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Tuba.
Bye, Tuba Dudes.
Loyals. And he says he hopes he can be at your show on Friday.
I hope so too. It'd be great to meet you.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I've hung out with him a couple times since joining Twitch, so he's very nice. I think he'll be very gracious to you once he sees you, if he does see you that weekend. So, yeah, super cool. Okay, so Firelord Critch with words of encouragement regarding your ragtime learning. Cook the pork shoulder, man. Give it another hour.
Taste of my own medicine. Well, the thing is, like, another thing as a musician is like there's so much out there to learn. There's so many skills to learn, so much different music to digest. At a certain point, there's only so much time in one's lifetime, and you kind of have to make decisions about what you want to invest your time with. And for me, that's just never been something. I still want to do it. It's just like, on the week to week, something like that doesn't necessarily get, top billing for what I practice in my day. Actually, I mean, it hasn't been asked yet, but like what I'm practicing these days. I've been really trying to play jazz standards in different keys.
Ooh.
It's a good challenge for me. Again, my perfect pitch brain, which I guess I kind of hear music more in a fixed do solfege kind of way versus a movable dol solfege. Like I hear notes as having kind of fixed values, and then keys kind of move around those. But yeah, I'm trying to play standards and other songs in different keys, and I'm finding it's doing a lot for my ear, and just finding there's just something to just knowing where the notes are that's just so important. And when you play a song in a different key, it forces you to really kind of hone in on that, which I think is great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kenny asked in the queue that whether you have perfect pitch, and you just mentioned that you do. So that's fascinating.
I do. Unfortunately, it's a blessing and a curse.
Oh, interesting.
I will tell you this too: the world is a very out of tune place. And it's
really?
like, I'll hear like three taxis honking at the same time, and it's creating some crazy cluster chord, like, and sometimes it's very abrasive on the ear.
Oh, I see what
But
you mean.
you hear very interesting things like freight trains are always a minor major 7 chord.
Ah, yes.
Sometimes it's like a minor 7 flat 5, or this, but usually it's that.
What would that little ding dong sound in the subways be, like when the doors open and so on? Yeah. Stand clear of the. Yeah, like you said.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
My dad got such a kick out of that announcement when he was in New York with me that one year. That was really fun.
Yeah, it gets old to 700,000 times.
I hear you.
You've been waiting there for like 12 minutes. Your train is delayed because of a sick passenger or something. Just like, really, dude? You had to get sick on the train. You couldn't get sick at home. Get sick on your own time, not on mine. It's horrible.
No, I mean, I get it though. I totally get it. Okay, so this from Ryan, that E flat guy. Can you move the potato to the monitor? Let's take a look. All right.
The monitor?
Meaning, does he mean the studio monitor, the speaker, or to the camera?
Oh, yeah, I could do this. I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say like my screen. Like, no, it's flat. Like, it's not a CRT. I can't just put it on top of the monitor.
That's true.
Remember those old CRTs?
I do. Oh man, buzzes for days.
That whine, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he did mean the speaker monitor, yeah. So
I figured, yeah.
Studio
That makes
monitors,
sense.
yeah. What is that studio monitor? Like, what's the brand? Would you mind indulging for us?
It's a Yamaha.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the exact model, but it's the 5-inch speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just got 2 of these. They're just like studio monitors, and they're great. Yeah, they kick, and I got these because I don't know, every musician should have them, and I was trying to get more into like mixing and stuff. I don't use them much, but I'm having set them up in such a way that so my right one is here, my left one is here. I have my projector here, which I sometimes use to like watch movies or play games, and it's like being in a little theater. It's cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, neat little setup.
Yep. So you have a monitor in front where you're speaking to right now, right? Where the camera is. You have a monitor probably off to the side. Do you have one in front of your keyboard at all, or is that just the wall?
I was doing that setup with the projector, but the problem I found, and I'm really stupid for not foreseeing this, but when it's bright out, I can't see it.
Oh, that's true.
It's too bright. Yeah.
Right, that's true.
It's like, duh, of course.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It
was really bad. It was really bad playing. And I mean, I could get blackout curtains, but I don't want to. I want the natural light in here. Although this time of year, so my apartment faces north, like uptown, and this time of year, like in the afternoon, the sun reflects right off the window across the street, and the glare is horrendous. It looks like I'm on the surface of the sun.
It must feel that way. Sometimes they can be a nasty glare too, like the heat accumulating on the window can be nuts too. So that'd be tough. Right on. Oh goodness, we have an update from my. So we've been trying to raise money during the stream tonight, and this widget is apparently not working because I see on the update Help Wonders at 3127. Pump it up. That's great.
Ooh, come on.
We raised some money tonight. That's really great. No, you're very welcome. I thank you, Davey's Eating Sandwich. Absolutely. We'll try to do more of that tomorrow. So that means we have 2 jelly beans. We raised $20 worth. If you want to do more, if you want to continue to donate toward Wonder Truly's cause, here is the link right here in the chat. 1 second. There you go. So then, yeah, go ahead and do that. And there's also going to be a raid train tomorrow to help the cause. Now, just very, very quickly run that down for everybody. But that's tomorrow all throughout Twitch. Emily Henry will lead it off. Our friend CW Guitar will finish it at 9 o'clock Eastern time. But look at all the cool people in between. Really, really great streams. So I hope you can check that out too. And now let's go back to random questions and see what we got. As far as the queue, BR25X asks, if you were an exotic dancer, what is your stage name?
That came out of left field.
We're good for that on this channel.
Exotic. Okay, first of all, can we talk about that word exotic? That's I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking like, what are like one of those BuzzFeed things of like, oh, take the first letter of your of your first name. There was there was one funny one. It's like, okay, what's your prostitute name? It's like, okay, take your prostitute name is your first name followed by your last name, 'cause you a hoe. Yeah,
such a dad joke. Oh my goodness.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Oh my goodness, hysterical. Yeah, and then that E flat guy respond. Well, BR says, "Well, I'm left field." I hear you, BR. And E flat says, "Putting the random in random questions." Yeah, very much so.
They're very random. That was the most random question all night. Good job, sir. Good
yeah,
job.
you win the award for most random question of the night, BR.
I do this. Yeah.
I didn't actually hear that. Was that like a sound alert?
That was awkward. Yeah, the stream deck didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't align the flux capacitor with the joint circuit modulator number thingy. So yeah.
Okay.
It's stream technology. It's very advanced stream technology.
Right on. Yeah, that's really cool. So didn't hit 88. It didn't hit 88. GG. Oh, E-flat, thank you for asking that. I was about to ask that myself. So on behalf of Tin Tam, who was on the stream earlier, he asked the same question of waffles or pancakes. And mods, get the waffles or pancakes or French toast command ready. So waffles, pancakes, or French toast, Ryan?
Waffles.
Ooh.
Yeah, it didn't used to be this way. I was a pancake kid growing up, but I think waffles are superior. You get the best of both worlds. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Little maple syrup, throw some fried chicken on top. Are you kidding me? Come on.
So good, so good. But E-Flat Guy is a proud pancake supporter, so that, unfortunately... But E-Flat says, you used to be a pancake kid? That makes it even worse.
I know, but the chicken and waffles got me. And also, I live in Harlem. I'm like right down the street from Chicken and Waffle Ground Zero, which is Red Rooster.
Ooh, sounds so good.
Yeah, we order from them every now and then, and it's always just bomb.
Oh.
Also, I don't know, pancakes are a little too filling. It's like I think a vibe is if you're going out to brunch with friends, you get a plate of pancakes for the table and you share. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want to eat just that, usually. But I totally get it, man. Like, they're great. I happen to like one a little bit more. That's all it is.
Right on. Now, we've been keeping track of the count since October 22nd, but this question has been asked way before that, so the numbers are a little skewed. This is only recent history. So the leader in the clubhouse at the moment is French Toast with 3 choices. 2 streamer guests have chosen waffles, including yourself, and pancakes have 0. Pancakes at 0 where it belongs.
Sad.
That is such a cold statement. Again, Frog Rock Jukebox is very controversial. It is indeed. Yeah.
Like I said before, it depends on the day. You might be in a pancakes mood, you know?
Yeah.
It's like spaghetti or pizza. It's like they're both great. Who wins? Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of where one of our past guests, Danny K, Human Juke 81, came in on it. It's like, why can't we just enjoy all of them? Like, I totally understand that. They're all good.
Why can't we all just get along?
Well said. Absolutely. E-Flat says, I can't believe I have to fight for the honor of pancakes by my lonesome right now. Need Jade Tile here. You know what? E-Flat, to your point, I'm going to do this right now. Hold on. Because I know you both like pancakes, so I'm going to put your votes in. So it's kind of cheating, but I'm going to do that anyway because you both are clear pancake supporters. So I've added them in. We'll just say that you picked them retroactively. Anyway, to the queue. Rigged. All right, so this is the last question. Unless anybody else wants to do a question, we can probably just close it up. Let's go close it up. Really good. This has been really, really fun, Ryan. I thank you for doing this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see. Irene Pena Music asks, are you considering the Together Wherever Music Festival? So that's a stream fest that she organizes, and so I think that's an invitation. What do you think?
Yeah, send me deets. I can't say I've heard of it, but I'm down. I'm down to try and do a new stream festival. Sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Send me deets.
Well, thank you for that, and I appreciate your invitation to Irene. So, she's very excited about that. Okay, cool. So, I think she'll be in touch with you. So, E-Flat says my interview was before October 22nd. Yeah. We'll assess that. We'll assess that after the show. But let's just finish with this because we got some dono money tonight, and I think that's really great. Thank you so much for doing that, everybody. I will add $25 of my own after the show, and then I'll just be hanging out with everybody tomorrow, and hopefully we can get more contributions to the cause. But let's finish with this because we have been awarded 2 bonus jelly beans, and I'm going to eat them together. So let me break them down. I picked them completely at random. The first one is I think this is either barf or peach. The orange one.
Oh, peach. I thought you were going to say something else.
Something else that starts with P.
Barf or pea.
Oh! That would have been good, too. That would have been fun.
Although it could be PEA.
Yeah. Or
of
P? Like split P?
Yeah. Yeah. Versus, urine. But
yeah. I like where your head's at. That's just actually making that even funnier. So the second one is either toothpaste or berry blue, but we've established that both of those taste fine, so that's not even a bad bean for me. So let's eat them together, and we'll find out. And E5 says, do I see a toothpaste one? Rigged. So be it. In this case, we're going to roll with it. All right, here we go. We'll figure out what this orange one is. Oh, yeah, that's the barf one. All right. Oh, my God. Oh, that barf one stinks. Yuck. Ugh. But the toothpaste one's like trying to counteract it. It's like you're brushing your teeth and after a rough night at the bar. Yeah.
Barf doesn't taste good. That's a hot take, sir.
So thank you so much for your donations tonight. That's really great that we got to do that. So I really appreciate that very much. I know that this channel is not. God, that barf taste. Yeah. But. Yeah, Kenny said. Phil says Barry barf. It's good to see you're still in the chat, Phil Vella. Really cool. And Muppet Stooges fan, I have Royal Danks Blue 10 cookies right now. I am a happy man. Squirrel Danks Blue Tin Cookies. Cool beans. No pun intended. But Kenny's Prog Rock Jukebox. Barf and toothpaste are very common together. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. E-Flat says, I've had a barf flavored one before. It's really faithful to the real thing.
It's made with real barf.
Made with real barf. Oh my god.
Organic barf.
Organic barf. Oh my goodness. What a way to end the show. I think that's it for the questions. Okay, great. So, again, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. Ryan, don't forget, just one more time, let's tell you about Ryan's concert coming up on Friday. It's going to be a banger, I think. So check it out.
Yes.
And if you're in town, come and see it. We know that Food Man Chew, I love his name, will be. I believe he either wanted to be in the mix or he's going to be. I forget which one. I think he's coming.
He will for sure be there.
He's there.
He's flying up.
From Orlando, right? Yeah, that's great. That's great. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you might see tuba dudes with him, so that's really cool.
That'll be cool. Oh, Dom's going to be there, too.
Oh, great. That's
Dom's
really
gonna be
great.
there.
Ryan, can you send my best to Dom, too? Because I just think he's also also fun. He's a great streamer. So.
Oh, yeah. He's become a dear friend of mine.
That's cool.
And I feel lucky to
Super cool.
know him and all this. Yeah.
Was it fun collabing with him? Oh, you're going to play a lick? I'm sorry. But
No,
I was going to say... Oh,
very kind of impulsive here. What were you going to say?
Oh, no worries. But the two of you collabed on his album Game Night, which I thought was really fun. I listened to the whole thing, and a whole lot of friends were in on it. A really, really cool labor of love. Is there what more can you say about your your track on there was fun too, obviously, but just in general, like the concept of the album of collaboration with a whole bunch of cool jazz artists coming together. What was the process like? I mean, did that come together very quickly? Like, what was that like?
He had me record that kind of early on.
Okay.
And Dom ended up taking kind of longer than he was expecting to do kind of post production and all this stuff and ready his Indiegogo campaign and make sure that it was all good to go. But in hindsight, he timed it out perfectly because he made the announcement on his was his 3 or 4th year streamiversary, something crazy like that, and yeah, ended up being super hype, and he, like, within a month, I think, just completely reached his goal. But it was really cool to work on that, and it was really interesting to record it remotely, which a lot of musicians have kind of had to get accustomed to now because of COVID and quarantine. We can't really play in the same room, but still, we were able to. It really felt like an interaction because, like, Jasper had sent in his solo, and I was basically comping behind him. It wouldn't have made so much sense, like, if I had sent in my comping track and then he soloed on top of that. It's like I have to respond to what he's doing, so that will just kind of affect the order that things come in. And I've heard of it where, like, guys will send tracks back and forth. And like a drummer will send a track to the bassist, and the bassist will send a track back, and they just keep building on each other until you have this super cool, neat, interactive thing going on between them. And no, it was really cool to work on that, and I'm really proud of what Dom has put together because he has a lot of talented friends, and a lot of musicians have a lot of talented friends, but it's not often that you get to kind of get them all figuratively in the same room. Right, we're not in the same room, but we're on the same album. We're on the same tracks, and you got you guys like Insane in the Rain and Charlie Rosen and Adam Neely and all these guys you wouldn't normally hear together. And I think there's something really cool when that happens, when you're able to kind of get like guys on the same track or whatever. it was a lot of fun to do that.
And it looked like a lot of fun just watching some of the behind the scenes stuff. And I did catch some of Dom's stream with all of you together on the Zoom call or Discord, whatever it was. So that was cool. It's reminiscing about doing the album and so on. So that was cool. Yeah. So congrats, you guys. I think it's really great, and hopefully it gets a lot of hits on Spotify and what have you. So.
Yeah, I think it's doing well so far.
Cool.
And I mean, again, like Dom has done a great job of building this awesome community around what he does, and that's something that I aspire to be. But like I love the Slat Club. I'm just really grateful to have got to known so many awesome people on Twitch, including you, who are just so supportive. Yeah, just so supportive and so loving and so giving, and you make it possible for us to do what we do. So thank you, and thanks for having me.
I'm glad to do it, Ryan. It's been an absolute privilege to have you on the program with me. I've been hoping to do this for quite some time, so it's really great that you could carve out time, especially this week with such a big show coming up. And just to remind you again, he'll be in New York with the Slat and Co. Friday, December the 3rd, 10 o'clock p.m. if you're in the area. Check it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, let's share the love with someone else who...
Yes.
Let's go rate someone. All right, let's see what we got. Thank you again, everybody. Don't forget to... What? Bass Clarinets is in the chat. Hey, how you doing? Croissant, how are you doing tonight? I'm glad you could hang out with us tonight. Let me give you a shout out. Super cool. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Nice game. Good pick. So, I think I know who to raid. We could raid our common friend. What do you think?
Our common friend, Miss Laura Wiley.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go set up the raid. Laura's with a guest tonight, and they're celebrating Hanukkah, I believe. That's what I was reading. So copy the raid call, everybody. This will be my first ever raid of Laura Wiley piano too, so that's kind of neat. So hopefully.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she'll be pleased to know that we were both in the chat. So thank you, Ryan, once again. Y'all have a great rest of your day, your evening. We'll be hang out with us. We'll go ahead and raid Laura in just a moment. A reminder: I did say Tuesday. That's just because I meant to say Wednesday. We'll be back on Wednesday to announce the Together Wherever Streamfest lineup. Tuesday, which is tomorrow, is the Wonder Truly Raid Train. Check that out too. More details in Discord and Instagram. But let me get the raid calls to you. Hold on. And sub raid.
It's for bass clarinets.
Oh, nice! Super cool. And one last thing before we grade out, can we get the Nokia sound effect? Fantastic.
There you go.
Super cool. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start. Did I push the start raid button already? No, I did not. Okay, let's do that now. Really good. So have a great night, everybody. As I mentioned, copy the raid call. If you want to keep in touch with all of us, we're on Discord too. So here's the link to that. But do copy the raid call. We'll see you over at Laura Wiley Piano. Ryan.
Yes.
Pass.
See you, Sandwich fam.
Take care,
Have a good night.
everyone.